Right, we're live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the QLS channel. We are here for the last match around 4, I believe we are up to actually of the Six Nations. As you can hear, we've done a few live streams today, and my voice will hopefully warm up as we get a little bit further through this one. But if you are new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're going to be back for the final round of the Six Nations, 3 back-to-back games, and they are going to be taking place next week. I've had a shocker for that intro, but now looking through at the way that the table is sitting currently, as you can see there, France. They are clear of everyone else, sitting there on 18 points. But whoever wins this game between England and Ireland still have a little bit of a chance of being able to catch the French next week. England will be playing France in France. Wales, they will be playing Italy. And then Scotland, they will be taking on Ireland. So whoever wins this game, it's going to be a huge one. It's at Twickenham for this matchup, and two very strong sides. These are the other fixtures that we have seen of the Six Nations so far. A close game between Italy and Scotland, but Italy still yet to get themselves their first points of 2022 Six Nations. Can they do it next week? That is the big question on everyone's mind. But this game, it is going to be kicking off in about 14 minutes time. By then, my voice should have warmed up, and we should be rearing to go indeed. I hope you guys are all excited. Do let me know your score predictions for this match in the comments. But now looking through at the starting lineups that both of these sides have gone with, we will start with the home side at Twickenham. It is England. They've got Alice Gens, Jamie George, and Kyle Sinclair as the front row. Maro Itoje and Charlie Yules as the 4-5, and then Courtney Laws, Tom Curry, and Sam Simmons will be slotting in. And number 8, Harry Randall, once again, will get himself the start alongside Marcus Smith, who has been a star for England in the Six Nations. I believe he's had a man-of-the-match performance in every single match that we have seen so far. Henry Slade and Joe Marchant will make up the midfield. Jack Noel, Max Malins as the two wingers, and then Freddie Stewart, who is also an up-and-coming young talent, will be slotting in at number 15. Then looking through at the lineup that we have got for the Irish, it will be Cian Healy, Dan Sheehan, and Tyke Furlong as the front row. Tyke Byrne and James Ryan slotting in as 4-5. Peter O'Mahony does get to start at 6. Josh Brandon Fleur at 7, and then Caelan Doris at number 8. Jamison Gibson Park at 9. Johnny Sexton, the very experienced veteran. It's going to be a good battle out there because it will be the experienced Sexton versus the not-so-experienced Smith, but the up-and-coming Smith as well. Bundy Aki at 12, Gary Ringrose at 13, Andrew Conway and James Lowe will be the two wingers, and then Hugo Keenan will be slotted in there at fullback. We have got Katie Dixon, 36 purple in the chat, and also Paul Rick is here for this one. Go Ireland. It seems like everyone's going for Ireland at this stage. Do you guys feel they can do it into this match? And if so, can they get themselves a bonus point win? That would be even bigger for the Irish. If they can get 4 tries throughout this fixture, they get themselves their bonus point. And looking through at their bench, it's a good possibility they might be able to do so. They've got Herring, Kilcoyne, and then also Bellam as the replacement front row. Ian Henderson slotting in there. Does normally play for Ulster, I believe, in the URC. And Jack Conan at 20. Conor Murray, Joey Carberry, and Robbie Henshaw will be the rest of the Irish replacements. But for England, Jamie Blamire, Joe Marler, Will Stewart as the front row replacements. Joe Launchbury and Alex Dombrandt, the big man, coming off the bench. The Quins representative who is always on fire. Then Ben Young's the most experienced English player ever in history in terms of cap numbers. George Ford at 22, and then Elliot Daly slotting in there at number 23. And also want to show the cream of rugby. Says John Polo, exactly right. And what are the odds for this match ends in a draw, in your opinion, says Tristan? So I think the odds, I can tell you what the TAB have got it. They've got England as the slight underdog going into this game at $2. But if you're looking at a draw, probably around $15, somewhere along those lines. I was saying, let's go England, says Tristan, for this game. And they're cheering against Alex and Marcus. And the Joe feels wrong, or the Joes feels wrong, says Katie Dixon. And also we've got, I was actually going to guess, a 60-60 draw. And there says Katie, and who is the key players for each team? I would say straight away, key player for Ireland is Johnny Sexton at number 10. He needs to make sure that he's playing that fly half role perfectly, because he's going to be up against a Marcus Smith who will keep on hounding him at first 5. He'll pretty much be right in his face the whole game, I would think. And it's going to be a battle of those two men out there. It is the rookie versus a veteran, Sexton versus Smith. And then on the outside, you've actually got Bundy Aki, who will love to play a bit of crash ball. It's going to be hard for Ireland to mark up, hard for Henry Slade to handle Bundy Aki charging in Eddie Jones. That's why, and I wonder why Johnny May isn't even playing. And yeah, it is a tricky one. They have decided to leave him out. They've actually gone with Elliot Daly, who played for Saracens less than a week ago. So it is a big call to bring him straight back in to the side after playing so recently. But they've still got Max Malins in that lineup. Jack Noel out on the wing. I feel like out of everyone, I would have probably replaced Noel with Johnny May if I did go with it, and also in this competition. I think it is just Eddie Jones selection-wise, unless, of course, Johnny May said, no, I've got a bit of an injury, something along those lines that will keep me out for a little bit longer. But currently we are getting closer and closer to the kickoff of this game, ladies and gentlemen. Do let me know your score predictions in the comments down below, and also who you think will be able to win this game, England or Ireland. And also, alongside that, we're going to ask heaps of questions at the start of this game. Who's going to score the first try? I'm looking through. I'm saying if it's an Irishman, it's going to be James Lowe. If it's an Englishman, it's going to be Maro Itoje. I'm feeling for some reason today. Number 4 for this matchup. He has been rotating between kind of that loose forward trio and also back to lock now. For this game, he's already made some choices that have baffled all of us. And I think Tom Curry at 8 probably almost tops the cake for that one at England. And there from Danny Lewis going for the English boys for this match. But currently in the Six Nations, it is France sitting on 18, Ireland sitting a little bit behind them. And it's going to be a cloudy day, 9 degrees, 6 miles per hour of wind. But Twickenham, it's looking like an absolute picture at the moment. I don't think I've ever seen an angle this high up for Twickenham as well. It's kind of a weird one to see, but I do like it. And we are about to get underway for this matchup between the two sides. We have the national anthems very soon, England, says Sebastian. So we've got a couple of people going for England, a couple of people going for Ireland. First try, Sam Simmons or Jamie George, says Danny Lewis for this one. And that is the prediction. Currently, West Indies versus England. They are on the lunch break, I believe. And then after that, we will keep you guys updated in the score for that matchup. And Anthony Watson, he's probably the best wing in the world, says Giampolo. He's going very nicely for, is he playing for Bath at the moment, or did he transfer recently? I feel like I might have the wrong team there for Anthony Watson. But I know that wherever he's been playing, he's been tearing it up in the Premiership. That is for sure, which is why you would think he will get an opportunity at some stage in the near future for England, even if it is going into the World Cup, perhaps. Might be the next time that we do get to see him in the English kit. But currently now, the England supporters, they are in attendance for this game. Looked like there were actually English blazers there, which is pretty cool. But Johnny Sexton, they actually have to walk past the English players to make their way out onto the pitch for this matchup. But Sexton leading his boys. He actually scored a try a couple of weeks ago, Johnny Sexton. There are big trophies on the line here for the Six Nations. One of these two sides, whoever wins this game still keeps their Six Nations hopes alive. Whoever loses this game, that is going to be the one that does end up, unfortunately, missing out on a Six Nations title opportunity. But, of course, France going for the Grand Slam. Grand Slam, I should say. And also, can you remember me? And there says Carly, I believe you were actually here for another rugby one, weren't you, Carly? If I'm not wrong. Although, was your name actually Carly, or was it Carly's son? Do you let me know? And also, did that guy have his cigarettes on a necklace? It's one way of holding them, I guess you could say. But currently, I do see a few of the English players. I believe this is a special milestone for one of the Englishmen making their way out there. Tyke Furlong, his bootlace even doesn't want to try and stay close to him at this stage, because anytime that man runs with the ball, those bootlaces are going to get tested because he can sprint very well. And now Courtney Laws leading the guys out. He now gets himself the captaincy for this match. Tom Curry behind him, Jamie George, Kyle Sinclair, and the English internationals, they are getting ready to go for this match. But Courtney Laws, he'll be fired up and also having a comfy hole. I got Grease Monkey, Florida Wedding Cake, Eagle Scout, and Cubano. Which should I choose? Florida Wedding Cake sounds fun as well. What's the difference between a Florida wedding cake and a normal wedding cake? It's probably my big question for that one. But come on, England. Or sorry, come on, Ireland, says Suckabulla. Should definitely get that one right, shouldn't I? For who these guys are going for in the chat. But England with Marcus Smith at 10 up against Sexton, Irish number 10. He has locked himself until the 2023 World Cup, so he's got a bit more time left of that contract. And I got Ireland, says Daniel, for this game. So you're saying Ireland away from home are going to be able to get the job done at Twickenham. I can tell you the last time that Ireland won at Twickenham up against England was 2018. So not that long ago in the scheme of things. But they have won 4 out of their last 5 home games, England, for Twickenham up against the Irish. But currently now the sun is blaring into Twickenham. It looks like a very nice afternoon. Eagle Scout Katie and there as well, says Sebastian for that one. But now Twickenham from a distance, it's just a complex and a half with the amount of the kind of infrastructure, I guess, that goes into a stadium. Like sometimes you don't realize it from just watching from down at pitch level, but when you see it from a distance, I feel like I'm just rambling at this point, but I'm very impressed with Twickenham's layout, and I don't think I've been able to see it from the outside too often either. And also watching in Bangkok from the West Island as well, says Daniel. So I hope you are doing well. What time is it currently in Thailand, do let me know. But now it is going to be the round of applause from England and also from Ireland, and also the power of Twickenham, says Gianpaolo, and home sides like certain teams such as the Principality Stadium. It just brings Wales to the next level. Twickenham, it brings England to the next level, I should say. And then also Ireland, they have the Aviva. And also I have Eagle Scout when I'm done with cake. Brother, Kaka, as well, says Katie Dixon there. Currently, the Irish national anthem is going to be sung, and also 23:43, so currently almost midnight for yourself there. So I am glad that you're up for this game, and it should be an absolutely outstanding one. We know it's going to be fast-paced. We know these two sides are going to give it 110%, because at the end of the day, with how close it is sitting currently in the table situation, Ireland and England, they're both jockeying for that second spot next week. I haven't actually shown those fixtures yet, but I will do them right now. There we go. 3 back-to-back games. Wales versus Italy as the first one. Ireland versus Scotland follows, and then France versus England. That could be the decider of who wins the Six Nations. That could be important for Ireland if they do want to win the Six Nations. It's all going to go down to the wire, and I am extremely excited for it. If they do end up losing this game, Ireland, it does mean that they will need England to absolutely dominate France in their game next week. They do want a chance of being able to win the Six Nations. But that is the Irish national anthem. We will have God Save the Queen, and then we are going to be underway for the Six Nations, ladies and gentlemen. But if you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're going to be back next week for all 3 of those fixtures back to back to back. And also we have got a Super Rugby matchup a little bit later today in about 11 hours, and that is going to be the matchup taking place between the Waratahs and the Western Force. So we'll put the lineups up for you, Sebastian. For this one, there we go. So England, their lineup is Ellis Gaines, Jamie George, Kyle Sinclair as the front row. The locks will be Maro Toje and Charlie Yule's going to be important at line-out time for those 2 individuals. Courtney Laws as captain at number 6, Tom Curry 7, and Sam Simmons, is going to be there at number 8. Harry Randall and Marcus Smith get the 9-10 jersey for this match. Henry Slade, Joe Marchand, Jack Null, Max Malins, and Freddie Stewart as the rest of the backline. So a few Quins representatives, a few Saracens representatives, and then this is the English side made up of Leinster, Ulster, Munster, and maybe a little bit of Connacht sneaking in there as well. Kean Ely, Dan Sheehan, Ty Furlong as the front row, Byrne and James Ryan as 4-5. Peter O'Mahony gets the start. That is a big call from the coach, but he has decided that he is definitely ready to get the opportunity. Josh Van den Floor at number 7, Caelan Doris at number 8 for this game. And then they have got Jameson Gibson Park, Johnny Sexton, Bundy Aki, Gary Ringrose, Andrew Conway is going to be there. James Lowe back in the starting lineup for the Irish, and Hugo Keenan slotting in at number 15. Then these are the benches, ladies and gentlemen, for both sides. Big key players for me for England is going to be probably Elliot Daly, Ben Youngs, and Alex Dombrandt, just to pick 3. Then looking through at Ireland, if I had to pick 3 for them, it would definitely be Robbie Henshaw, Connor Murray, and Jack Conan, with Henderson getting an honourable mention, and an honourable mention for George Ford for England. But these are the lineups. We're ready to go. England to win. England look fired up for this, says Bob Jobs. And I've decided I'm not going to be happy no matter who wins, or I'm going to be happy whoever wins. And also we've got there, they only played Ireland's call. And there says Jack. And also I fear James Lowe most. He's pure pace and stepping ability, says Sebastian. But now we are getting very close to the kickoff of this game. They are just showing all the replacements for this one. And also our bench looks very strong. That one says Jack. For that one moment, we will go like this. And we will go like this and that. No, not like that, like that. There we go. We have got it in the right place. We have got the lineups. Marcus Smith warming up. He has been player of the match quite a few times for England in past matches. And Johnny Sexton. This is going to be a great battle at fly half. This is about as big as it gets in terms of age and experience versus young and up and coming. Going to be Mathieu Reynal, who will be in charge of this one from France. Mike Adamson, Pierre Busquet, I believe it was, is there as the touch judge for this match. You know what, me too. This ground game is just a celebration for top-class rugby, says Sebastian, and I hope it does deliver for this game. But Ireland will be kicking off from right to left at Twickenham in front of 80,000 in attendance for this game. Still a nice afternoon. The lights aren't even really on at Twickenham, but they are certainly shining bright for this game, both of these teams. Who will be the stars who step up? We are about to find out. But Johnny Sexton has blown the whistle or he doesn't blow the whistle, he didn't steal it off the French referee, that would probably not be allowed and he would get carded before the match started. So Sam Simmons takes that ball inside of the 22 for England. And now it looks like Harry Randall will be putting up the box kick back at halftime. Enjoy the game. Says Jack, you too, mate. And because cheering against Joe Marler feels wrong in my soul, says Katie Dixon, that's gone high. Nicely taken on the halfway line there by Kaylin Doris. Now Sexton finds the offload. Bundyaki on the outside. Gary Ringrose now out to James Lowe, already in a bit of space. Tom Curry trying to stop him, has done just that. Just outside of the 22, Gibson Park, back across to Sexton. Furlong, quick hands, going straight through the middle. Almost was Bundyaki. This is quick work from Ireland at the moment, going for the set play. Sexton dropped by Randall. It's almost become a rolling maul. I think one of the players is down at the moment for Ireland. And that might be an early injury. Either that or he has decided that he wants to take a nap. No, he does not look too good, okay. So I believe there is an Irish player who's going to be down. There's an advantage now to England for the knock-on. Sinclair goes back into the hands of Noel. Looked like he was going to be kicking it, but instead now tries to make the step. I believe that's James Ryan who has stayed down with the injury. So the lock for Ireland, not someone who you want to lose early on in a match. Definitely not when they would have discussed the set plays many, many times with that man. And Ian Henderson, right, we got the double blow of the whistle. We're getting a little bit too close to him. It's going to be a scrum to England, but now they are going to be checking on James Ryan. I believe it was injury or neck for that man. And time for Goins, time for Scones, time for no broken bones, although James Ryan might have just broken that last one. So you're right. I think, okay, it's an HIA. In fact, he was lying flat on his back, James Ryan, which didn't look too flash for him originally. So he's going to go off the field, and Ian Henderson is already going to have to make his way out onto the field. What happens here? Oh, head clash between him and Charlie Yules, and they both went down hard. You'd argue. Okay, they are saying it's not malicious at all, though it did knock the man out. That's a red card. I think they're going to have to go upstairs and check this one. Time off. I think they will be going upstairs just to check this one. He has to be sent to the sin bin at least. Because I know that we've had quite a few recently how it's if you don't duck down, you are still at fault. Even if you headbutt, yes, it's going to hurt your own head, but it hurts the other man as well. So they're going to be checking this one. And the Twickenham crowd not looking too happy at the moment with that one. And they are going to be going upstairs to check that contact of Will Stewart. He did go around him pretty high and went Furlong, and a Tojo crash at full speed does the earth underneath their feet actually crack. It surely would, the speed that they can have. But like they're saying, direct contact with the head. So originally one of the commentators was saying no, but now I think they are saying actually when you look at it again, this could be a little bit of trouble for Charlie Yules. He needs to try and make a little bit more of an effort to duck down. And he didn't really do that. He stood up straight, smashes the head into the face of James Ryan to get knocked unconscious completely there with that one. Okay, 5 white. He's getting at least a yellow here. I think it is in rubbish. There's Danny Lewis for that one as well. What way is it going? Is it a yellow or is it a red? Okay. Player upright. Responsibility of the player to duck down. He was in a reckless position. This sounds like it's going to be a red card at the moment, and only 3 minutes into this game for Charlie Yules, which will reverse the penalty. Is it a yellow? It's a red. And Charlie Yules now, he has to go off the field, and that is going to be the end of his night. I don't believe they have the 20-minute yellow card, or sorry, the 20-minute red card either. So because of that, now England and those odds will go way up in terms of who is going to be able to win this game. But that is going to be Charlie Yules gone for the rest of the day. And he knows that that's a big mistake. He would have been so fired up for this game as well. It's a massive one. Eddie Jones looks like he always looks confused and also angry. And oh my goodness, says Sebastian there. And also, no, hey, goodbye, says Jack there. And now the crowd, they are booing for that one. That seems to be a little bit of a grey area in terms of how everyone feels about that rule, about the head-on-head contact. And lovely 3-0 lead. And also, oh, yikes, red card. Not the way we saw this match starting, that is for sure. Although, in some regards, you'd say that that does benefit Ireland, because now it means that if they do chase that bonus point and they do get it, then that will put them a little bit closer to France. And why are French referees so bad? As I said, Danny Lewis for that one. I'm sure at one stage, someone will probably ask them. They probably got themselves carded or cited for that as well. But Eddie Jones, he kind of looks like Mr. Bean in like a really distant way. Just a little bit for Eddie Jones. I think it's kind of that look on his face sometimes. I mean, some argue he's a very good coach. Some argue that he's not. It seems to be a little bit of a grey area for whether or not people like Eddie Jones as well. A bit 50-50, but now everyone making noise at the crowd in Twickenham trying to put off Johnny Sexton. And now has got the opportunity. Now, normally, I mean, that's the thing. The thing that makes this worse is the fact that they've got a massive sign above saying, please respect the kicker, and the crowd are going absolutely nuts at the moment for this kick. And all English pubs are probably on fire now, says Katie Dixon. For that one, he gets it over, though, Johnny Sexton, and now the score will be 3-0. And red card and who, says DJ. So it was a red card for England for I guess you could call it a high tackle, but he pretty much was head-on-head contact of Charlie Knowles. So because of that, he goes to the bin with a red card. James Ryan goes off the field for an HIA. And now England... No, that's the wrong way around. Why do they give England 3 points for having 3 points scored against them? Hopefully they sort that out very soon. But someone has clicked the wrong button. That's a massive loss. And you'll say, or just when I wanted to give Bath a chance, said Sebastian. The one and all English clubs are pros on fire now, says Katie Dixon. Yeah, whoever's working at Flash Score, they've decided that they want to give it to England for that one, but currently 3-0 up for Ireland in this match. Hopefully it does transfer over very soon, but currently 30 metres out from the line. Jamison gives him back, goes back to Sexton. Does put up the box. Kicking currently, the English crowd are cheering. Andrew Conway just not quite able to get onto that one. Now Joe Marchant running it back hard, trying to break through, and the advantage in favour of the English up to the halfway line now. Back to Smith. Jack Knoll does receive the short pop pass from Smith for that one. It's a penalty to England now. Randall takes the quick tap and trying to accelerate this game forward. Now sells a couple dummies, gets almost forced into touch. Just keeps himself in the field of play, but it's stolen back by Ireland. And now they have got themselves the advantage for the knock-on. So that is a mistake from Randall. It is a 20-minute red card or not, says Isaac. I believe it is a full match red card, unfortunately. So that means Charlie Knowles will not be making his way back out onto the field or any replacement for that man, other than if they change it around. Also, Hamish, which musical instrument you can play it better? Guitar or piano? Definitely guitar. But now down the wing, Dan Sheehan getting his ankles taken out from underneath him. Henderson, I don't know whether or not he will end up having to actually go back off the field. I know that James Ryan took a massive hit to the forehead, and now England is going to play Super Saiyan Farrell. Got ball on the inside. Josh Bundenfleur links up now. James Lowe, he sees the line. He's got the base, and James Lowe scores the opening try of the match for the Irish. And he does celebrate big time for that one, James Lowe. And that is the first try of the match for Ireland now. And just insane acceleration from James Lowe. Does score the opening try of the match. And we will add him in. Okay. We're going upstairs. Okay, the try is good. I thought they were going upstairs for a second there. And also, do you think that red card, or was a red card? I didn't. As I'll see, I think that's where the kind of rule book, like they have it written, if you make direct contact to the head, it's a red card, even if it's with your head. Because normally if you use your shoulder to the head, it's a red. I know that it's a lot of it's kind of different when you see it head-on-head contact, I guess you could say. But the rule book, the way they have it written, I guess he probably didn't have a choice but giving it a red. I don't know whether or not it was a red theoretically, though. But the way it is written, they pretty much have to give it as a red. If they don't give it as a red, then people do complain big time. Perfect start, really. And Josh Van der Fleur, best 7 on the planet. He's going very well at the moment. That is for sure the man I feared, says Sebastian, and best 11 in the world right there. And also his face, he looks like a golden retriever. Just realised that he's at the dog park as well, says Katie Dixon. And we're so much better with Sexton, says Jack. And they have locked him into 2023 as well, which does mean that man will be fly half for the World Cup, at least as the replacement option for Carberry, and probably Ross Byrne would be the other one that Ireland have got as their fly up. And now Johnny Sexton trying to line up this one 6.5 minutes into the game. Does strike it nicely. It's drifting across. He does miss it away to the side there, Johnny Sexton, just away to the right hand upright. James Lowe a bit disappointed with that one, but they still have themselves an 8-0 lead, and Ireland are 1 try towards that bonus point. They need 3 more, but James Lowe, as soon as that space opened up, Freddie Stewart, he knew straight away he wasn't going to be able to catch him, and it was just a great ball on the inside. Van den Fleur, he's got insane vision for a number 7. That is for sure, and does end up putting it down, and also Kips a robbery there, and Kips Qatar. It's interesting. We just talked about Qatar in terms of whether or not I'm better at guitar or piano. I can only play about 5 chords, but it's still better than what I can do on the piano. That is for sure. Adam Byrne signed for Connacht. Thoughts? As well, says Jack. Adam Byrne. So not Ross Byrne. Is he Ross Byrne's brother, or have I got the wrong guy? That one now driving their way forward. In fact, is he a forward? But now the referee's saying it is going to be play on. England, I think, have got this one. No, Ireland, I think, have been able to turn this over. It's almost become a maul from nothing. I think it is going to be going forward. They have been told to release it there, England, and yellow. Captain points as well, says Gareth, for that one. They have been told to release him. It was a little bit scrappy there between the two sides on the halfway line now, and passing it back across. But more of a pass out wide, and it's looking very good. That's a knock on there from Gary Ringrose, who commits himself to that one now, going down the wing. Kick downfield from Samuel Slade, and it glides itself into touch. I don't feel comfortable with Henderson. And please tell me time. So in the game, we are currently sitting 8 minutes. In New Zealand, we are almost sitting 6 a.m. here, hence my bloodshot eyes. Haley, I've been up all night, and also I don't like Eddie. And this is Jack, and also we've got their number 11 for Leinster. Am I thinking of the wrong man, aren't I? But if he's gone to Connacht, it will be interesting to see what he can do over there rather than Leinster, because Leinster's stacked at the moment for the backline options that they have got. And they should take Jack Carty as well. We have 3 flyouts with 3 different Irish clubs. That was a hard sentence to say, wasn't it? But it would be quite cool to see Jack Carty get the opportunity of morning all high Hamish, howdy man, Katie Dixon, and that one is sending off his kill the game. I understand the need to stop your injuries. Why not ban scrums? They are boring and pointless anyway, as well, says Malcolm, and that one. But yeah, it's a tricky one. The rule book, I think, does need a looking at to see how they can kind of change it so that it doesn't. Like, I know that in Super Rugby, or not Super Rugby, sorry, Bunnings NPC and also Rugby Championship, they actually trialed 20-minute red cards. And I feel like those are probably where rugby needs to go, because 20 minutes, then that player's not allowed to return, but you're allowed to bring someone else off the bench and you don't go down to 14 for a whole match. Definitely if it's an early red card type thing, because we saw it with Marika Cotton-Betty in that game up against France. In Australia, they did end up going down. And also England might last till 60 minutes. So it says BS Smitty there. For that one, morning, David says Sebastian. Also, it's not rules, Hamish, it's laws. And there says Gareth. Okay, the law book then. That sounds even more professional, doesn't it? The pack weights, very similar, but Ireland had a little bit more food this morning. They are sitting at 898 and themselves a little bit more of a boost, but it's a big push, and maybe those extra kgs will come in handy. They've won the penalty, Ireland. And the front row did end up going down. I believe it was the man on the far side for this one, which for this match would be Alice Genge, who has to go up against none other than a big Tyke Furlong. Sorry, Amish, but the red card has totally spoiled this game, says Darren Smith. And yeah, hopefully it doesn't affect England's performance too much throughout this match. I don't know whether or not they have put another lockout on the field, because I see Courtney Laws, I see Mara Tojo, so maybe Courtney Laws kind of jockeys between loose forward and also lock, perhaps, for this match. It's actually a fair point. And there says Katie Dixon for that one. And definitely with many scrum resets coming back to back to back in a game. Kind of thing. Like, I feel like they should have some sort of thing else. Like, if you have more than one scrum reset, then it just becomes a free kick. And agree, Darren. But nothing we can do, says Sebastian there as well. Yeah, it's going to be a tricky one. And also, Toje has been ill. And there says P.S. Smithy, but he's back out on the field. And also, I say that Ireland look very strong, says Paul Rick. For that one thrown in by Ireland, taken nicely now. Jameson gives him Park, offloads it back. James Lowe, Keith Sexton, got the man on the outside. This is starting to look good for Ireland once again. Backing himself to drive through the gap. It was actually Hugo Keenan. Now Ringrose first receiver. Off to, I believe that would have been Dan Sheehan. Gets another carry. Gibson Parker goes through the hands of Van den Floer. They say it went backwards, so Sexton does have to try and clean it up on the ground. Gibson Park goes out to the right-hand side on the short side there. James Lowe joins the ruck. He's a long way off his left wing, but they must have a bit of a plan here. Dan Sheehan driving forward, stepping nicely. And now Jameson Gibson Park gives it off. No, he doesn't find the offload to Tyke Furlong there. If he had, could have been a certain try. Now Sexton looking for it at halfback. It's going to be another advantage. Going off to Bundy Arki now. It's been wrestled down to the ground. Down to the short side. Gary Ringrose has it swatted out of his hands. That's going to be all. That was an ugly one for Henry Slade. He ended up running straight into the arm of Tyke Furlong. And the crowd want a high tackle. It's slung out wide. And Caelan Doris for the corner just runs over the top of the youngster, Harry Randall. And it's another try, but I believe they'll be going back to check this for TMO. And well, another game ruined by the laws. And I reckon this game sees Dulles for that one. But the crowd are not happy with that one. I think they are going to be checking Henry Slade when he did run into Tyke Furlong. And the luck of the Irish, am I right, says everyday cultist for that one. And also I've got I thought it was going to be Tyke, and then try Caelan Doris. So what happens here? Jamison Gibson Park, he was going to go back into the hands of Furlong. They're not actually checking that same one that the crowd were asking for, by the looks of it. Harry Randall, he just got run over the top of by Caelan Doris, the big winger, and he's actually, he's just actually walked over him. And there, unfortunately for Randall, just gets bumped off. And it does end up going down, and also I hope England get absolutely hammered, says Gareth. I think they're going upstairs, though. They are going to be checking this one to see whether or not there was some sort of foul play involved. I think it is the one where Henry Slade, I think he ended up slightly tripping, but he did get caught relatively high from Furlong as he fell into him. And now the crowd are booing once again, and that's the thing with 80,000 people in attendance, it's going to be quite loud. And I was sorry, Irish, this is a disgrace, as says Darren Smith there. They're going upstairs to see whether or not it is a penalty in England's favour this time. So I think it is going to be seeing whether or not. Oh no. Okay, are they saying there's a knock on for that one? I think they're trying to decide here whether or not Gary Ringrose did drop that one forward. I think it was knocked out of his hand by Maro Itoje. Then from there, did end up with Furlong. Okay, they're saying he slapped his hand down. It's legal. It's a knock on by the scrum half. No try for Ireland there. So Caelan Doris does not get rewarded with that one. An easy bonus point for Ireland. Says DJ there in England are going to have 12 soon, says B. Schmitty for that one. I hope England get absolutely hammered, says Gareth for that one. But that is going to be the penalty in favour of, in fact, sorry, it's going to be the knock on. And 5 metres out from the line here, England are going to have it. And also pumped for this game, genuinely disappointed by the current situation, says Sebastian, although they do survive that one. And 12 minutes into this game now, and it is going to be 8-0 and OMFG and England squad, no problem wings, centre bearing no good, and the bench from England shouldn't have Ford or Daly on the bench, very poor, says Sean. So I assume, would you go Elliot Dale? No, Elliot Daly is on the bench, isn't he? Who am I thinking of? Who we mentioned earlier on, who's out on the wing? I can't think of his name now. Red cards really ruined the game, says Danny Lewis. They had no try, says not your everyday cultist for that one. But who would you have on the bench instead? Do let me know. And why does it feel like we're at school and the teachers are just yelling at us? Says Katie Dixon, an international knock on. Intentional knock on. As then I'm back to Lagos. That's a penalty to England. 5 metres out from their line, but they've still got that fight in the 4-pack. And they are not going to be giving up here. Courtney Laws, I believe they're actually packing with 7 men at the moment. And it was brutal for that push that they were able to inflict. I'll say that red card was an unintentional tackle. That should have been a yellow game wrecked, says Darren there. And I think that is why they did trial the law of 20-minute red cards in Southern Hemisphere rugby, such as the Bunnings NBC, such as, I believe it was the Rugby Championship. We saw 20-minute red cards, which pretty much would mean you're off for 20 minutes and then your team are allowed to replace you, but you aren't allowed to go back out onto the field. So such as in this situation for the lock, it would be, right, you're not allowed to go back out onto the field, but our replacement, in this case, it would be Joe Launchbury, would be allowed to make his way out there. Now England getting themselves a free kick at line-out time, and the crowd are getting restless. At the stage, red card is red cards. He's not your everyday cultist, and Daly is actually a good sub since he can play centre wing or fullback, says P.S. Schmitty for that one as well. But now kicked downfield and taken nicely by Hugo Keenan. Didn't really get a huge amount of distance on that kick and went straight into the hands of the Irish fullback, Ian Henderson. Now breaking his way up towards the halfway line. Good lead drive after getting contact with Itoje. Now firing it back. It's a little bit rough there for the back line. Tom Curry's done a knee injury there, so he is not going to be able to continue this match by the looks of it. I think he's done something serious to that right knee by the looks of it. He is not walking very comfortably at all. But now backline movement. James Lowe down the wing once again. 40 metres out for Ireland, and Tom Curry is struggling on the far side of the field. It was almost stolen. It is a penalty to England. And also, are they playing at Twickenham or in Dublin? They are at Twickenham for this match. And Sam Gareth down with the English. And then, okay, it's time for Eagle Scout Sebastian Grama. And that one, Kakoa, there for Katie as well. But well done from Joe Marchant. Straight over the ball when James Lowe went to ground. But I think Tom Curry's in a little bit of trouble here. On the far side of the field, it looked like something was going on with either that knee or maybe the ankle. a moment. It must almost be morning because my hay fever's starting to kick in, which means that probably it's going to be a nice, muggy, sunny day out there. And Tom Curry, like they're saying, he's just back from injury, and that doesn't look good for him currently. What happened to his knee? I'm trying to watch him. What happens? Oh, no. I think that was maybe a calf muscle, the way he kind of pulled up lane, the way he was running forward. It could be either calf, maybe. Oh, I really hope it's not ACL, because ACL, you're looking at about 9 months. But Curry now going off the field, another one for England gone. And now off the bench, it is going to be big Alex Dombrandt. Does have to make his way out there. And yes, Ireland. And there, so I assume more than likely they'll have a bit of a reshuffle. You probably have, I guess you go Sam Simmons at 7 or 6. Maybe Laws transitions into the lock jersey. It's going to be a tricky one. And take me to Mordor, England friends or Eagle friends there. And also we have got there, we love an Irish victory, says MH Joy. And at that one as well. But now is going to be getting closer and closer to one moment. I'm looking for MH Joy, not possible for English to be hammered. And there as well from a little bit earlier on, and we love an Irish victory. Says MH Joy, but now kicking it way downfield. I believe that's Henry Slade now with the kick. And the last thing England need is more injuries and more cards, which hopefully they won't have any more of. Fingers crossed of either throughout the rest of this match. But now going to be 35 metres out of Twickenham. And meters made, 299 for Ireland, almost stolen in the line out, and it is a little knock on. I believe Josh Van den Fleur just commits himself, does end up knocking it on though, and it will be the English scrum feed while they are sitting about 40 metres out, and things are law. We need a chariot. The Irish are sending us home, and there's daylight saving over. I'm not too sure. I don't know when daylight saving is. I just know that all of my devices update automatically, so it either is or it isn't daylight saving. And I have no idea, like, kind of what side of that, which time did you wake up, man? Says DJ. So I was up I think I woke up today at 5 p.m. I think it was. So pretty much I ended up waking up nice and early. The night before, I went to bed at 3, woke up at 8:30, did the Six Nations game, went back to sleep, woke up at 5, and we have been up ever since. So we've been up for 13 hours, and we have got another about 13 to 20 hours left, I think, of our live streaming day. And I got a notification that it starts for us tomorrow. So, yeah, says Katie Dixon there. But, yeah, we have got a little bit later on today, Waratahs taking on the Western Force, and then that will be followed by the match between Pakistan and Australia. We will be covering day 2 of that test match. And then if we are very, very energetic, we might even do the URC. That is going to be in the middle of the night tomorrow with Ulster. It's actually Cardiff taking on the Lions. And one of those matches, which should be a very exciting one. Big push from England once again at scrum time. They win the penalty, and the crowd are fired up for this English 4-pack. I'm just looking. I think Jack Knowles actually involved in those scrums. And come on, you boys in green. And they're from, and also was low, never good enough for New Zealand. Says McNally. It's a good question. I'm not really sure what made him decide to go for Irish kind of international duty rather than the All Blacks, because I know he was playing pretty well for the Chiefs. Overall, and also don't mind the losing bonus point against Georgia. And that one said Sebastian. So what was the score in the end for that game? And Stormers versus Zebra Palmer. I cannot wait. Says not your everyday cultures for that one. And Hamish, this game will either peter out into an obvious Ireland win, or England will make the biggest comeback in modern rugby history. Says Darren Smith for that one. And also Doze should also got on a red card. He also took it up right at 13:30. Why only red card with head contact? He says Eastbrook and ask Hamish. He actually lives not far from where the Mordor scenes were shot. Says David the Mod. There you go. I say England can compete if they keep the ball and run it all the time, says P. Schmitty. And speaking of running it, they are now kicking it for the posts here for Marcus Smith. He's had 9 caps. He's got 111 points in that time, and also quite a few man of the match performances for the youngster Smith. But 17 minutes into this game, and England do get themselves their first points of the day now, making the score 3 points to England and 8 to the Irish. So still only 5 points difference between the two sides. And it looks like one of the coaches, or the water boy, in fact, was just given a bit of communication to Marcus Smith for what the new plan is for England moving forward throughout this game. But Charlie Yule's recarded in the 3rd minute of the game. Jack Leach currently bowling for England in the match up against the West Indies. West Indies after 11 overs, sitting 21 for none. But England, they decided to try and take the risk, see if they could get themselves the win. But now Johnny Sexton kicks off. Who went off for the card? It was the number 5 for England, Charlie Yules, to go off it. Now Sam Simmons goes forward a little bit more inside of their own 22, so they will be able to kick this one into touch when they do get the chance. Alex Dombrand taking the contact. Tyke Furlong almost trying to wrestle his way a little bit further forward there. Now Randall puts up the box kick, and he does look for touch. It's a good kick downfield from him and almost gets him to the halfway line there for England. Very good exit from their own 22. And now Ireland will have another attacking opportunity. But this is one that I think for England, they're really going to have to try and stop this Irish momentum. They've already had 300 running meters. England have had about 100 themselves. It's been a very back and forth game for the first 19 minutes. But the big question is whether or not England with 14 men can keep up with this Irish side who are ruthless when they start getting going, and that precise backline does start pop passing like it is here. Going out the backline nicely now. Out to James Lowe on the wing. He's met by Alex Dombrand. Does shunt him off though. And also we play rapid passing as well, says McAnally. And it's so satisfying to watch as well. It's just boom, boom, boom out the backline. And then the gap does just slowly open up. It's a little knock on the ground there from, I believe that would have been number 4, was it? I think Ty Byrne ended up putting down that one at number 4. And also, do you ever sleep, says Carl? I do sometimes. It's just at random hours. So pretty much I sleep during the day, live stream during the night, then sleep during the night, live stream during the day in a weird order. Overall, so like my sleep schedule, sometimes I'm on the European time zone, other times New Zealand, and it's just kind of both ways. And also ruthless there as well, says Tracy for that one. And also when those Lord of the Rings mountainous scenes down around Canterbury, I think they were, weren't they? Couple hours from myself. And yeah, and Adoras from Two Towers, a bit north of where Hamish is do. I want to climb up that mountain, Mount Sunday, one day. It's on my bucket list in Ireland. Look a bit rattled for some reason, says P. Schmitty for that one. But now Jamie George also down. Hopefully not a serious injury. 4 handling errors for Ireland compared to the 0 of England. But you would have to say that maybe it's more of the case of England not having the ball enough to be able to get those handling errors and silly errors, keeping the trash in the game. Says Wilmer there for that one. And also we have got the after this Champions League. We are versing our rivals Arsenal. Says Henry Samuel. And also you should get Red Bull to sponsor you. I mean, I could be like Jack Nolan, Bolden Barrett. Both get myself a Red Bull one. I mean, I don't know whether or not there's any water sponsors out there who do want to sponsor me. I mean, I drink the stuff. I feel like that's a terrible ad slogan, isn't it? Water. I drink the stuff. It's quite warm at the moment, even though we're in the middle of the night. OMG, Cadex, I'm going to be honest and say I've never heard of Mount Sunday until now, so I'm embarrassed. Says David Lamont. I thought she was going to say Mount Cook, to be honest. That's going to be a free kick to England at scrum time. So once again, they went back a little bit, Ireland, and then they pushed forward. So pre-engagement for them. And England now have got the free kick. They're just going to kick this one as far down as they can. Can you get a 50-22 off a free kick? I don't know whether or not you can, but now it's down into the 22. And Hugo Keenan kicking it back downfield. Big boot from him. And now about 50 meters out from the line here. It is going to be the line-out throw for the English. Currently, they are still trying to keep themselves in this game. Even with the man disadvantage, they've still got a very strong rolling maul. You've got Courtney Laws who can slot him very nicely as your lock if you do need him. Alongside Mara Toje, both have very long levers, also known as arms. And same aim as says David the Mod for that one. Although on Flight Simulator, I think you can fly over Mount Cook, which is quite nice. It's all good. I don't know anything about the NFL, and like 99% of everyone I meet from other countries expects me to. So here's Katie Dixon, now the rolling maul for England, starting to push their way forward slowly but surely, creeping towards 40 meters out from Ireland's line. Looks like Harry Randall's waiting for this ball to be available. I have been told to use it once. Still waiting for it. Now he does use it, passes it back across Smith, first receiver now. Wide cutout pass out to Jack. No, he's got a little bit of space down the wing in the blue headgear, sponsored by Red Bull. Gives you wings. At this stage, he has got his ankles tied up, so that's probably pretty tricky to fly. Halfway, Marcus Smith goes back across. Out to Joe Marchant, who was quite deep in the back line, but now continuing to use that pace. Drawn pass, debatably flat. Alex Dombrand down the wing, using that power. All of the Quins players. Now Marcus Smith gets involved. The only one missing is Joe Marler, but he will be coming off the bench a little bit later on in this game. Kyle Sinclair now off. This is advantage to England. They are certainly on the front foot now. Randall going to the short side. Little grubber in behind it. Sits up. And it is going to be going back for the original advantage, I believe, or is it? Yes, it is. And Katie, all the Bruin shop at my store. I literally do not recognize them until someone tells me. I only follow rugby, says the May 5, and also it's because the NFL sucks. Nothing to be ashamed of. It really is, says Sebastian for that one. But It was a good backline movement. Joe March, and he was very deep, but then that just opened up the opportunity to go through flat. And then Alex Donbrandt bounces out of the tackle with James Lowe. That's not easy to do. James Lowe, not a small individual. I can't believe it's my birthday in 6 days, and you'd think Ireland have a red card by the way they're playing. And there, as I says, Jack, and also yesterday AFL all odds or all ads and barely any game. There, come on, NFL is fun, says Steve McAfee there in the Boston area. Pretty decent hockey team, though. That would be the Boston Bruins, wouldn't it? If I am not wrong there. Maybe. That's the thing. I probably don't know the names. I know that Boston have got a team in the NBA called the Boston Celtics, but I'm not too sure about too many other ones. I mean, maybe one day we do an NFL one. I know that Sebastian said that if we do NFL, he will not be too happy. That's a nice short ball bowled by the English in the matchup against the West Indies. I should mention they're on day 5, I should say. But now 5 meters out here by the looks of it. Do England go for the corner? It looks like Henry Slater said yes. And also, I agree, it's largely ads and players standing around doing nothing, as well, says Stephen, for that one. And also, we've got the Hayati Aces. That's right. They are not required to know a diggity-dang thing about those Bruins in there. But now, Jamie George throwing this one in. The rolling maul is something that England pride themselves on. Can they get over the line? You've got 80,000 people in the stadium saying you can get over here. Just move forward. Ireland defending it extremely well. It literally hasn't moved an inch. It's a checkmate. And now Jamie George had to go off the back. It's stolen straight out of his hands by Tyke Furlong. Now gives it off to James Lowe, and he punts it way down the field. Could be a 50-22, depending on where it bounces. Marcus Smith takes it back into his own 22 here and trying to go for the counter-attack. It's going to be Jack Noel now. Kicks it downfield, looking for his own 50-22. Taken by Hugo Keenan, who was covering it nicely. And now looking down the wing, he's broken one tackle. Jack Noel meets him, and it's still in the field of play. Johnny Sexton, little chip and chase there. It's going to sit up awkwardly. But Ireland and Gary Ringrose just able to hang on to that. That one is now in touch, and it's going to be England. They've got the line out. Oh, a little bit of push and shove there between the two halfbacks. Harry Randall and Jameson gives him back. And now Jack Noel looks like he's giving it a little bit back. And yeah, apparently one of them as kids who are literally always running into traffic. And Hamish, do you think PewDiePie making $100 million from YouTube ad revenue or less? What do you think? Oh, it's a good question. I think it's less, but I think it's just because ad revenue, depending on the content, is sometimes quite low. So I'd say like from merchandise and everything alongside it, he might be getting close to that. And this is world class from Healy, as says Jack Cooney. Tell you what, he's done very well there to keep it in the field of play. Johnny Sexton, though, does the little chip and chase. Andrew Conway, it didn't quite help him out, and Gary Ringrose there, who had the ball at the time that it did go out. I believe Ireland did, and we need Mac, and that is, of course, Mackenzie Hansen. Played for the Brumbies a couple seasons ago. In fact, last season, I think he was playing for the Brumbies. Now he's in the Six Nations, and tearing it out. J-Mo George got his books dumped as well, and there's his Katie Dixon. And also probably more about PewDiePie is trash, says Stephen McAfee for that one. Okay, they're closing off the scene for us, is what Peter O'Mahony just said. That wasn't really a great Irish accent. I do apologise to all our Irish viewers for that one. That's not what you sound like. It's just a terrible impression. An Irish accent is very tough to do, though, if you're not Irish. Now, double blow of the whistle, 5 meters out, or in fact, 10 meters out from their own line here, and JMO George, as he was called in the chat. And also we have got there one of those kids who are literally running, always running into traffic. And baseball is the worst game in America because some games go down 12 a.m. says Henry Samuel, and also his ears are still fully out. Says Katie Dixon for that one. It was the point of the scrum cap with ear holes, and I apologise to our Scottish viewers, says Sebastian, for that one. But now Jamie George about to throw this one in. And there's a billion Irish accents. Was my one any of them? Of the billion? Because if it was, I'll take it. If it wasn't, I should probably hide if I ever go to Ireland. And also, we have got there, do you think more teams should do what Ireland are doing, where they can only play for the nation if you play your club rugby with an Irish team? I know that the Springboks were considering doing something similar. And I think All Blacks also slightly have that same thing. But I guess it's just dependent on, I guess you get more control over the players because you know where they're playing. You know that you can call them in without too many problems of trying to fly them across the world. A billion plus one, says Sebastian, who's the best in the world at 50-22, says Jack Cooney. Oh, okay. 50-22s. I'm trying to think of who it was the other night who nailed about 3. I think it was actually Chris Smith and the Bulls camp who was able to get quite a few. But if you're looking at kind of international level, I mean, someone like a Romain Intimac could probably nail quite a few of them. And that's going to be now the scrum feed for England. And if Ryan wasn't concussed following Yule's tackle, it would not have been a red. Yes, Yule's did not go all out to cause injury, says Darren. And also our forwards have had a very bad game, says Jack. And Irish people would have a good laugh with it. They love impressions, including of themselves, says Steve McAfee there. And Thomas Ramos says a boot. And then who says Henry Samuel? And who said that beautiful is trash? I believe it was Stephen a little bit earlier on. And what happened to Teddy Thomas? I think he is still playing just outside of the French team. I think he's still playing in the top 14. In fact, I am going to have a look. He plays for Racing 92, doesn't he? I'm not on me, as I said, Stephen, for that one in all caps, but now feeding the ball in here for England. 27 minutes into this game and still sitting 3 points to England, 8 to the Irish here. Are there any top 14 games on at the moment? No, there are not. But now it's a good push once again there in England at scrum time. Are being pretty dominant for themselves. Okay, Racing 92, they were up against, but Big Nam was, who are we looking for? Teddy Thomas. Okay, he was not there for that game, so is he even still at Racing 92, or am I thinking Gail Fiku? I'm probably thinking Fiku. Well, likely, and can we just take Henderson off? Someone I don't care who. And 6 penalties conceded already, says Jack. For that one, 6 is a lot. That is for sure. He's actually one of the best and most subscribed YouTubers in the world, says Henry Samuel there. That one, but currently 27 minutes into this game. I should mention anyone who isn't subscribed to our channel, sure to hit that subscribe button. It is hugely appreciated. Also, if you do like your other sports around the world that aren't just rugby and cricket, Kiwi Sport link will take you through to our other channel. Be sure to hit the subscribe button on there. It is hugely appreciated. And we have got plenty more videos coming out in the near future on that channel. Now, Courtney Laws looks like he is just taking his time making it to the lineup. Make that 7, says Jack. They on the Irish are wonderful people. I've met many. They got a bit of stick in England, and he's certainly my subscribed best, as I said, Stephen, for that one. It's another penalty to England. Okay. That was actually Ian Henderson once again getting penalised, I should say, and rather Devon Toner instead of Henderson. That one says Jack, and he was certainly thrown into the deep end getting out there as soon as he did. But he's just wrapped his arms. I think he was more trying to help himself from not falling over backwards. And now the advertisement, Hamish, there says Sebastian with the 10 out of 10, and also hello, Kiwi lads, come on Ireland. And there says Pauline Ryan for this match. Currently, Jamie, George Murray, I told you they were all fired up. I watched the Irish Try channel, lovely people. And there says Mimania. And also, I am very much confident at this level of growth, you will definitely get 100,000 subscribers possibly next year and get YouTube Silver Play button delivered from USA to Christchurch, says Coding. I mean, 100K by next year, I think is very optimistic. I would definitely, that's the thing, 10K was huge for us in terms of we weren't ready for it, I guess you could say. We thought that we were going to be maybe at, to be honest, right at the start when we started, which is when you start at the start. But we thought, right, 1,000 by a couple years' time would be pretty insane. And it's a couple years' time, or less than a couple years' time, and we're up to 10,000 currently. But now Marcus Smith lining up the 3-point attempt. Does he strike it nicely? No, he doesn't. Goes away to the right-hand side. And it does mean the score will remain 3 points to England and 8 to Ireland there. Master tactics from Henderson set up a difficult kick for Marcus Smith. Never in doubt, says Jack Cooney for that one. And also 100K says Katie Dixon for that one as well. I'm excited because we have got that little room that we are setting up as a slight Kiwi Lad studio. And the thing is, this match will finish at 7:45, somewhere around that mark. And I'll have a couple hours in the morning that I have to find old clips for us for our 10K reaction. And then also, that's a great backline from Gary Ringrose. But also, I have time to set up the studio possibly a little bit. That's going to be a double blow of the whistle. They're going back for something, and it's actually offsides to England. Now getting another penalty. That is a huge penalty count against Ireland so far. That's about 8 penalties against them. They've got 8 points on the board. They've had 8 penalties alongside that, and we're actually useless, says Jack, and I joined Kiwi Lads when there weren't many subs, says David the Mod. You did indeed. And that was back in the days of Double David. And now you're stuck around all the way through, and it's hugely appreciated. And I feel like it was that much more awesome hitting the 10K with so many of you guys who were there in the early stages. Like Johnny Blaze, he was there for the 10,000. He was here when we hit 50. subscribers on the channel, and now we're a lot more than that. And I believe you can get to 1 gazillion subs, says Pauline Ryan. Is there even 1 gazillion people in the world? If not, you guys are going to have to make heaps of accounts. Also, I hope this blows up the second half of this is so boring, says Steve McAfee. Yeah, and 21st of April, I think, is 1 year anniversary of me watching Kiwi Lads. Here's Katie, so we're getting relatively close. That one as well. I'm watching rugby vid. And there it says Sam Henry, but now it will be Henry Slade lining up this kick. What can he do with the boot? The left boot, of course, he does get plenty of distance on it normally. Plays for the Exeter Chiefs in the Gallagher Premiership, who aren't sitting terribly, same here somewhere around April, says Sebastian there. So that would have been around Super Rugby final time, wouldn't it? For Super Rugby. I think, Katie, you were here for the second last, was it the second last Highlanders game or something like that? Or in fact, you donated on the Brumbies versus Reds live stream. I remember that. And it kind of came out of nowhere. And then after that, you were doing $7 per try for Highlanders versus Reds. And they got a few in that game as well. Yeah, stuck around ever since. Okay, Marcus Smith now. He is going to be taking this kick. And also, yeah, it was the Super Rugby final with Crusaders. And there says Katie. And also Katie or Scrum Lads, Johnny, Marco, Seb, Smithy, Toilet, and some others were already here. Says David the Mod. And also, Hamish, your subscribers are so loyal. You have almost or only have 10K subs, but still get up to 200 live watching on most of the live streams. This is insane, says Coding. And yeah, it is hugely appreciated. Like, that's the thing. Whether there's 5 people watching, whether there's 100 people watching, like that's the thing. You guys have stuck around the whole time. And Kiwi Lads aiming for 7.5 billion subs. That would be impressive, wouldn't it? Also, we have got there George Horn, some Venezuela wearing a white suit and hoovering up white powder as well. Says he can put together a movie deal for the Kiwi Lads involving Megan Fox. To be honest, he seems a bit intoxicated, says Power Bite. I mean, if the deal's on, we'll still do the movie. I guess it's absolutely awful, says Jack, for that one. Marcus Smith does get that one over that time, and now the score 6 points to England and 8 to Ireland. It's okay, the English get plenty of stick in Ireland. I've gotten a lot better in my life, though, says Stephen. And also, yeah, it was a donation, a thon, $7 per try. And Megan must be a hot MILF by now, says Miminia. Isn't she dating? Which rapper is she dating? She going out with, is it Machine Gun Kelly? Is that his name? I think it's something like that. Or is it Eminem? No, I think Eminem, no. Machine Gun Kelly, I think it is. And I was like, England holding their own, though. And I'm watching the match. Says, my name is Fraser. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are enjoying it so far. Currently a very close one, 33 minutes into this game. And just outside of the 22, England will have this ball. They will not be allowed to kick this one out on the forward. It's okay. And the English get plenty of stick in Ireland. I feel like the thing with Twickenham, though, with 80,000 people in attendance, it's certainly going to be a rocking atmosphere for the later stages. But that is now going to be kicked high from Harry Randall. Lining it up. Nope. Jack Noel did not quite get close to that one, unfortunately for him. And now on the halfway line, Jamison Gibson Park goes back to Tide Furlong. Does continue to make his way a little bit further forward. Rolling back. Jamison Gibson Park, I should say. Now, Andrew Conway goes for the kick. I think Maro Itoje almost did a slide tackle on him. And I thought, can't be a rapper anymore because Eminem insulted him so hard. He changed genres. And there's also Hamish, how many hours in front of the computer per day? And I think almost 20 hours because you do so much live streams. On the weekends, it is probably somewhere around probably 18 hours or so a day, which doesn't sound too good overall. And then during the week, it's probably like 14. Something like that, just because I do end up editing. The next 5 minutes you have watched an Eminem video called Kill Shot when he goes after MJ or MGK. For that one, it's quite brutal, says Stephen McAfee, and it's Ireland. Play against 14, haven't scored in the last 15 minutes, says Sakabola. That is true. At this stage, England, they are only 2 points behind now. Sexton goes back. They seem to have better structure when they had 15 men against them. This game, Ireland, and I think the same could actually be said about their performance up against Italy for a start. They weren't really finding that momentum later on in the game. Sexton now sort of off to Tyke Byrne. They've got the advantage for a high tackle. Jameson Gibson Park flicks it out the back there. Andrew Conway Sheehan trying to link up with James Lowe. He does find the offload to him. Ducking under. Maro Itoje gets straight on the ball that time. He turns it over, but they're going back for it. And also MGK doesn't deserve or even deserve to shine Eminem's shoes. And sometimes you get roasted to as a system A5 for that one. And also we've got there, come on Ireland. And there from Patrick Green. Currently I think it was Maro Itoje went a little bit too high on Gary Ringrose, who still is strapping from a couple of weeks ago where he did get cut open on there. And I think he's trying to protect the ears a little bit. So it's probably seen like that's the thing. Some of these props ears are huge, but not huge because of the size of the ears. Initially, it's because of the cauliflower ears that they do develop, how it's just a ball of mush. And now, currently anyone wondering about England versus West Indies for the cricket side of it, I have got it up on the screen so that I can keep track of it. It's currently 16.3 overs down, 33 for none here. Braithwaite and Campbell making a bit of a partnership here for themselves. And Morrow is lucky. They're coming Ireland in there, and Ireland is going to win. Says Palagi there. Another chat. And also come on Ireland. And that one from Sakabula. But now Ireland have got the opportunity at line-out time. Dan Sheehan. And have to throw this one in. The gap was a little bit too sealed up. It's going to be the free kick as well. Taking the quick tap. Ian Henderson drops the head, goes straight at Courtney Laws. Driven down, ball available now. Only the one try so far throughout this game. That was a huge hit on Cian Healy. Now Dan Sheehan with a nice step. Getting closer. They're only a couple meters out now. It's going to be big contact on Cian Healy. He drops the ball. It's going back for the penalty though. Jameson gives it back. Takes the quick tap. Fires the ball out wide. Hugo Keenan reaches. Hugo Keenan scores. And Ireland get themselves another one. I sure hope so. I was expecting more than 8 points at halftime. You've now got yourself up to 13. That Ireland have been able to get it. And that time it's Hugo Keenan who was able to score it like that. And that was in the 36th minute. So they're halfway to that bonus point that they are after. That's 46. That's the wrong number. We will go like that. And boom. And hopefully it does pop up down the bottom. And also a complete absence of wickets blast. As and come on, I'll check out the Phoenix. They lost 2-1. And there, and also Ireland together. As says Miminia. Yeah, but Hugo Keenan, does he get this one down? And there we go, says Steve. He did put that down. He just used his face as well. And big round of applause for the French referee for wrecking this case, is Darren Smith. And also, even if it's like old enough to be MGK's father and shoulder to shoulder. And that one is, says the May 5. But now, Ireland, they do score themselves their second try of this match. Now, if the red cards were only 20 minutes, I will mention they would have a replacement out there already. But due to the fact that they are still the full length of the game, I'm wondering whether or not by the World Cup they do decide to switch that rule up, or whether it will still be for the full 80 minutes that you do experience a red card. Because this one pretty much was. I'm pretty sure I'm the only person who is not adult. And there says Sam Henry. I'm sure there's a lot of people who think they're young at heart, though. Like, I don't feel 22 just because I don't think I'm mature enough to be 22. That one's gone over. And now Ireland move themselves up to a 15 points to 6 lead over the English with 2 minutes left of this half. But, like, I still laugh at the stupidest things overall. Like, whether it's someone, like, tripping over. Oh, I mean, saying that, though, tripping over is quite funny. And here's MGK's dad when it comes to rapping, that's for sure. And also, we all kids in our head, says Miminia, and now taken beautifully by Jack Noel. Keeps that one in the field of play, and Ireland look like they are going to have to defend for this last 2 minutes. Took that one a little bit too casually off kickoff, and England made them pay. Courtney Laws offloading it back to Smith. Great backline movement starting to open up. It looks like the skip basket be on the cards. They don't go for it, though. Instead, James Lowe straight in the breakdown, unable to turn the ball over. Randall goes back to Smith. Atoje. Cole Sinclair off for a head assessment. And that is going to be now Will Stewart, who does end up replacing him. Marcus Smith beautifully passed off to Alex Dombrandt. Those two have spent a long time together for the Harlequins. Now still building phase after phase. 50 seconds left. Looks like almost over the ball there. It was Josh Van Den Fleur and now Maro Itoje running at his opposite number, Ty Byrne. Still on the side of England. Now he's milked the penalty there for Harry Randall. He's got his result that he was after, and now it will be the opportunity for England to try and get themselves maybe a cross kick or something. No, they're going back for it as the ball was stuck in there. And also get it done, Ireland, says Patrick Green there. And also I'm 25 and feel the same way. There says Stephen, and also Ireland G says play there. And also I'm only 14-year-olds plus 50. Or I'm only 14 years old plus 50, says Johannes Payne. So he's 64. Fair play. I'm trying to do maths in my head. So you are about 3 times my age in that regard. And probably still easily about 10 times as mature as myself. And I answer Ireland's call. Ireland is on the phone. Says Katie Dixon there, but a good hit by Bundy Ake right on the ribcage ring. It's Ireland. Mother flipper, says the May 5. Well, that one. Mara Itoje in the end, the ball did end up just going. Oh, it's Ian Henderson again. Does get himself penalised and me same. And they're going to be taking a 3 points straight out in front here for Ireland. Or in fact, sorry, for England. I mean, I like the youngest as well. And there says Sam Henry. Now lining this one up for Smith. And this will make it only a 6-point game, which is actually pretty good for England at this stage, seeing as they were down to 14 men from the get-go almost of this game. And Ireland, boy, you owe me money. And there says Katie Dixon. That one, he got lucky. He hit the right hand upright from 15 metres out, skims the post, and still goes over. So the score at halftime, it is going to be 15 points to Ireland and 9 to England. And what is a very close game between the two sides. And I feel like the second half could make this game just a little bit closer. But currently off the field, we have got Kyle Sinclair. He is missing due to a head assessment. James Ryan, in fact, it was. He went off for a head assessment. He has not returned. So because of it, Ian Henderson is in that lineup now for Ireland. Charlie Yules, he is not out on the field. That is due to his red card. Tom Curry, knee injury. He is off the field. And replacing him, it is Alex Dombrand. Is that everyone? I think that is everyone. Fingers crossed, touch wood, that is the last names that we're saying other than substitutions. Substitutions, they can happen anytime they want, but make sure it's not related to an injury because we've already had a lot of them. And also a few cards, or just the one, but it was a big one. And that was a red, and fair play to the kicker, as I said, Stephen there for that one. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And also, if you are keen to hit that subscribe button, if you do find it fun, we have got the Kiwi Lad Sport channel, which also has a subscribe button on it if you want to smack it again, just in case, if that's your thing. If you want to smack that subscribe button, it is over there. And we are winning 2-1. And now, while England could have won with 15, Ireland are not playing that well, says Bishmini and Oof Marcus, bro. I backed you since Lions to South Africa. I don't make me look like an ass, says Miminia. Yeah, for that one. And well, what you think, says Richard. I think they've done pretty well here for themselves at halftime in this game. England only 6 points behind. That's pretty impressive. It easily could have been a lot more in favour of the Irish. But currently now we are just going to get some stats to do with this match. Should be an exciting one. And also, hi, buddy, are you in Africa as well? Says David the Mod to Johannes Payne for that one. And also, you're ignoring my job and staying glued to this. Says the May 5 in England could win this match. Ireland, poor discipline, too many penalties, says Bob Jobs. Yeah, they're probably giving away about 10 so far in this match, which is way too many for Ireland's high standards. They don't normally like to give away too many at all. I'm just going to have a quick look to see whether or not we have got the penalty count here for myself. It's not going to tell me, unfortunately, but I do know that the possession and territory is pretty much 50-50 for both sides. I'm not sure what is going on ever in cricket. I just know it's better than baseball, says Stephen. At the moment, Braithwaite sitting on 24 off 52, Campbell sitting on 12 off 57, and England need 10 wickets to be able to win that game. And channel name is called Henry Seven Football. And there says Henry Samuel, and also England can win this for the discipline side of it. But 2 tries for Ireland, they need 2 more, and that will give them that bonus point, which will push them a little bit closer to France, and will mean that England, if they win next week, it will mean that Ireland are able to win the Six Nations. I'll quickly show you guys how the table is sitting currently before this game. As you can see, Ireland sitting there with a better points differential than France. That's an important one to keep an eye out for, depending on how this match goes, because if Ireland win with a bonus point, they move up to 16, which means they can catch France if England beat France next week. But they're going to have a little chat with England. They're going to have to say, right, boys, we may have beat you last week, but we don't want France winning it. Just let us win it. Overall, we're closer to you. So just do it. And then they'll probably go, no. And then they might lose to France. In France, it's going to be a tough game. And then Scotland might be able to beat Ireland. They will promote themselves up a little bit higher in that one also. But currently, these are the 2 other fixtures that we have seen in this round. And also go Ireland, says Timothy. Thank you, Stephen. And that one as well, says Sebastian. But 33 points to 22. And then it was 13 points to 9 for France versus Wales in a close game at the Principality Stadium. And also we have got there, who's Ireland's last game, says P. Smitty. It is going to be up against France. No, sorry, that's a lie. They've already played France. It is going to be up against Scotland. It is 5:45 a.m. It's not in 8 days' time, though. It is going to be in only 7 days' time. And we are covering that game. We are covering that game. And we are covering that game on the channel. So if you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're going to be back next week with 3 games in a row. Also, while talking about games of rugby, we're doing all these ones as well for Super Rugby. 2 games on Friday night, 3 on Saturday, and then the one on the Sunday as well for Crusaders taking on the Blues. So we will be covering all of those fixtures on the Kiwi Lads channel. I think we're even squeezing in a little bit of Pakistan versus Australia in test match cricket throughout the day. And also, like I mentioned, that Kiwi Lads Sport channel is where you can find our other games as well. We will go like this, and we will go like this. And also, what was your original prediction, Hamish? I said whoever wins it by less than 7, but I couldn't pick who was going to win it. Just in the parking lot of your jobs and dings the boss's car in there, says Katie Dixon. And also, if Ireland can they're handling up, they will batter England. Always remember an English man over Ireland. So it will be a different second half, says Richard. And yeah, that is true. The fatigue will start kicking in a little bit more. And also tell Isaac to make a vlog going to your house, celebrate the Kiwi lads hitting 10K subs. We will be doing a video with them. We'll be reacting to old Kiwi lads footage that we have got, whether that's a private video that is on the channel, but no one can see it, whether it's our old podcast that we had back in the day. Other boys just used to chat all about random things, and a few of our favorite moments throughout the Kiwi lads history, I guess you could say. So do the other teams have to do, or so what do the other teams have to do to beat the French, mainly the Irish? And there says David, I think that's the thing. Ireland was so close to being able to beat France in France is always a little bit more of a challenge. I would say if it was at the Aviva, then Ireland would have won that game. But because it was in France, their home field advantage just seems to bring France to the next level. They're very passionate about their sides. You can see it in the top 14. Anytime like a team is going badly, the town turns against them. But when they end up doing well, the town just all gets behind them. And I feel like that is something that the French bring to the game, is that passion. And it's pretty much you're just going to make sure that they give away more penalties than you do, because we know that France, their discipline at times can be 50-50. That is due to them always pushing the limits in terms of whether or not something is a penalty. I've seen that random piece of here, and I'm going to try and hide it. There we go. That's a bit better. And also, Ireland, this predictive test drive me mad. And also, when you sleep, do you dream of rugby? So pretty much, I have been informed at times that pretty much it was about 6:30 a.m. one morning, and I was chatting away, and my mum, she thought I was on the phone, so she came past, or actually it was when I got up, and she's like, who are you on the phone to at 6:30 a.m.? And I was like, what? I was just sleeping. So I realized I actually do commentary in my sleep sometimes. But I guess when you talk this much during the night and talk this much during the day, eventually you're going to be talking while also sleeping. So I was doing some rugby commentary. She said it wasn't actually half bad for being asleep. And yeah, I was just putting some sentences together. I should have started my live stream. I could have described a game to you guys that wasn't even happening. And hopefully it was crystal clear. And I love the halftime score, go Ireland. So here's your demise for that one. And yeah, currently a very close game. Ireland, 2 tries. James Lowe and Hugo Keenan both scoring 2. Leinster men. Are we going to get to see a Munster and Ulster, or maybe a Connacht man? And then that's going up for an appeal there for the English. I don't know whether or not they are going to be checking this one, though. And commentary in your sleep, that's awesome. Says Dawning of the Age at lol. And then Hamish does commentary in a sleep 24-hour live stream. And there says Katie Dixon. I sometimes dream about the Quins beating the Saracens, and then reality strikes me, says Sebastian. But the big thing is, sleep should be the time that I'm resting my voice. But instead, if I'm still doing commentary while I'm sleeping, that doesn't really work, because I'm still using the voice while I'm half asleep. So it doesn't really work out too well for me. I just end up pretty much having an even worse voice the next day, which could be the case after this one, of course. Currently, we have got 331 metres carried by Ireland compared to the 110 carried. Oh, this is close to a stumping. No, he gets his foot back. It is going to be fine for the West Indies. 110 metres carried for England. 10 defenders beaten for Ireland. 5 defenders beaten for the English in this one as well. That was an impressive drink. Just felt like sculling, or not so much sculling, just drinking a relatively large amount of water, but not the whole glass. 42 tackles made by Ireland, 5 tackles missed, and then 63 tackles attempted from England, and they had missed 10, so only an 84%. And predict score in his sleep, and then pretend she doesn't know who will win. You can actually see the future in his sleep when he commentates. He's got a mind. I might have to start recording it then, see what kind of scores I do come up with. But I think I was just commentating a rugby game, and I wasn't being quiet about it either. That's why they thought I was on the phone, and they were like, "Why are you on the phone at 6:30 a.m.?" I was like, I wasn't. I was just sleeping. I had a dream that I was doing some commentary, and she was like, that'll be it. Yeah, no, you were actually doing it. Goal kicking success currently 2 from 3 for Johnny Sexton and 3 from 4 for Marcus Smith. Just missing the one, and also hitting the post with the second one. And the match and line-out success, just the one that didn't quite go well on remote viewing rugby. As I says Katie Dixon, also she should be here. or she should be here, I assume that is. And there says, or she should be he, sorry, for earlier on. And you guys don't get, she can where you are, says Katie. Now we get highlights of Super Rugby for ourselves. What we got, in fact, no, we've got highlights of Rugby Championship, All Blacks versus Wallabies. So we actually get some nice highlights, and I dream about Putin, says David there, or Timothy, and put tape over your mouth. You would be less likely to talk in your sleep. And to me, and it helps, says Richard. I feel like I just end up going, And the thing is, I'm actually not completely terrible at talking with my mouth closed. Like sometimes it's not too bad. I'm going to try it, but it probably won't sound like anything now because I have to choose the right words. The thing is, my voice is also almost gone. That was leave a like and subscribe to the channel, anyone who didn't quite get that, because of the slightly tricky one. And also, when you dream, then zero, please share who is going to win the Rugby World Cup 2023. And there says Robert, I will try my best, and that's that would be odd to watch Hamish talking about rugby in his beard. And there, and like right now, Hamish knows who will win this match, that he doesn't want to spoil it for us. And 70,000 people paying big money to watch a game the last 80 seconds. Woke football and now woke rugby, says Gary, for that one. And yeah, the red card was certainly a big change for that one. And night talking ventriloquist Amy, there says Robert, and also no Scottish. Brutal for Sebastian. That one, lots of sleep, says Katie Dixon there. And what are your plans for today? Sleep? It is actually not. So it is going to be pretty much after this game. I'm probably going to watch Leinster versus Ulster. I won't be able to do the commentary for it, though, because I think George, after he goes to McDonald's to get his breakfast, which is half an hour away, he's actually going to travel up the road half an hour, come back half an hour, just because he wants McDonald's. So I don't know how much he's getting. He must be getting a fair bit, I would think, to make it worth the while, and possibly picking up a couple other things up the road in the trip. But then he is going to be coming around, and we will probably be doing our reacting to old Kiwi Lads clips video with us. Also, Isaac and maybe Daniel if he is free. So we will be able to have a few of us for that one. And then also we have got there, when would you stop with YouTube? Probably if my voice completely disappeared, it would be unfortunate for it. Like I'd have no ability of being able to talk, although I did get a sign thing that's got like a digital sign that's 16 by 16. Like it's kind of 16 by 16 pixels, and you can draw on it like through your phone. So I feel like I could just write words on there and be like, try every once in a while and just talk to you guys through that if I couldn't talk anymore. Or a whiteboard, just pretty much scribble on whatever's happening and be like, oh, good run. Just put it up on the screen. Try and just keep on going like that. And Katie, you're so supportive. Get me out of here. And sports commentary is your passion at this time of your life, so be it. As says David the Mod, and halftime score, England 9 and France 15. That's the most exercise I've done in a long time. And also we got there that England are running, and they are running around the corner in the scrum smart and playing a rain on very well. Jack Noah's on the side as flank, and geez, you aren't sleeping, says Danny Lewis. Only tonight. I did sleep for a lot longer last night to catch up, or kind of to give myself a little bit of a sleeping bank, I guess you could say. Yes, I do take away from the game. But tackle should be lower, says Richard there. They want a morning, says David Lynn. Welcome into the Livestream I. Hope you are doing well. But pretty much any sleep that I don't get tonight, or kind of today, I guess you could say, I will be making up for the next night type thing, and kind of going, rather than getting like 8 hours, I'll probably get 12 hours twice in a row and just kind of do it that way. But yeah, I'm surprisingly awake at this stage. Like it's probably almost, why is it so dark? I thought it was almost morning. Is it daylight savings? Is that what's going on? No, probably not. It's just dark because it's 6:49 a.m. But nobody really stands or really understands the scrum. That one says Jimbo for that one. But currently now we must be getting close to the second half of this match, getting back underway, and it should be a very exciting one. Also later on today, we are going to be doing the Waratahs taking on the Western Force game. That is at 4 p.m. New Zealand time, followed by Pakistan versus Australia for the test match. Currently, England, they are sitting 49 for none against the West Indies, although the West Indies are the team batting at the moment, I should say, for that, and also fixes the ding in the boss's car. I would say let's take the Lambo, but the hot air balloon is more dramatic way to make an exit, says Katie Dixon there. And do you drink coffee, says Richard? Believe it or not, I do not. Never have had a drink of coffee in my life. Never drunk tea either. Don't know how I've made it this far. I haven't had a Red Bull or anything. I just pretty much drink water. And water, I drink this stuff, as says Tracy with that one. So you sleep 2 days with and 1 night impressive, as says Danny Lewis there. But yeah, every time I do end up staying up late, I do always make up for that sleep somewhere else along the line. I played prop for 15 plus years, still don't understand the scrum, says Sakabula. And also England have done well, particularly in the scrum. Such a pity about the red, but there was no argument about it, says Brian there as well. But we will have a quick drink, and also let's hope Ireland can pull the upset. And there, says Barry Green, although Ireland going into this match were the favourites. But this match, this is now getting serious. England's biggest second half since the World Cup final, says Darren Smith. And this is to keep their Six Nations hopes alive. For Ireland, if they win this game and they get a bonus point, they can still catch up with France, but only if England win next week. If England beat France next week, they can also leapfrog them if they win this game with a bonus point, or win that next game with a bonus point. So theoretically, the best chance for anyone to catch France would be Ireland. As I know, as Brian has said in that one as well. But now continuing to drive their way forward. A good start to the second half here for England. Now Harry Randall passing it around the side. Courtney Lawes, good carry forward from him. And now going off Marcus Smith. Drawing past Freddie Stewart. Gets his actually first carry of this match, I believe. And it's in the second half that we are now seeing him. Courtney Lawes, good attack and run. Just look around at whether or not any other replacements have been made. I still see Jamie George, which is a good sign here for the English. Now the draw and pass on the outside. Joe Martin, the ball doesn't sit up nicely for him. And now Ireland have been able to get this one back inside of their own 22. Now passing it back across. Jameson gives him Park, gives it off to Caelan Doris, who just takes it straight down to Grant. And also your schedule must be out of whack in the weekend, says Danny Lewis. Oh, it is. I'm pretty much like in the weekend, I'll probably live stream for 30 to 40 hours and then sleep for about 20 and then make up for a little bit later on. France are champions. I've accepted it. And that's right, David, says Brian there. I wouldn't really be an upset, Barry, if they win, says Brian there. And for some people in the scrum, it's just a more efficient way to look at men's skating. Although maybe cricket too, says Brian there for that one. But currently now driving his way forward, Alex Dombrandt. When he gets that leg drive going, not too many men can make more meters than him. And now my understanding is that the Irish rugby team is the only time they play sport as a United Ireland as well, Northern Ireland plus UK, or in the Republic of Ireland. And let's go the Green Machine. That one says Manly for life. They need 2 more tries to get themselves that bonus point to help them get a little bit closer. It's nicely taken there by Hugo Keno. And pretty much what that bonus point does is it does mean that they can afford to just win this next game. And even if France win with a bonus point, they don't get any more James Lowe all by him lonesome. That wasn't a sentence. All on his lonesome. That is what I was trying to say until my tongue decided it did not like me too much. Ball out the back. It's going to be a good low tackle on Hugo Keenan by Sam Simmons. Now going back, Ty Burns, Sexton off to James Lowe. Does get driven down nicely in the tackle. Jameson gives him Park now off to Sexton. Now Henderson looking for that almost drawn pass. Doesn't quite get it right though. Gibson Park. Pass it back to Sexton. Josh Van den Fleur. This is phase after phase currently for the Irish, and they don't look like they are slowing down anytime soon. Now backline movement. It's a 3-on-1 overlap. James Lowe doesn't find the offload though and just gives the ball back up. And it's going to be taken nicely by Sam Simmons, who was crushed in the tackle. Who was that? Who made that one? I think that was, is that Caelan Doris? Yes, it was. He just pretty much jumped all over that ball and almost was able to get the turnover for his side. And also England has given him the D. And they are not, how can Ireland not score against playing against 14? Quick tap taken now by Jamison Gibson Park. Decided he wants to go for it. Only 10 metres out now from the line. Dan Sheehan breaking his way forward. Hanging on to it nicely. Ian Henderson. I'm looking for a Furlong or a Josh Van den Fleur here. Great leg drive by Josh Van den Fleur, but he goes down just short of the line now. Now going back. Gibson Park gives it off. Now Sexton, Johnny. Oh, sorry, that was actually Gary Ringrose stepping nicely. Where is Tyke Furlong? There he is. He's out on the wing, right? Is he going to get the ball here? Could be a chance. Johnny Sexton bashed in that tackle from Jamie George. That was not a tackle. That was just pretty much, hey, have your rib cage and your facial features all rearranged. Johnny Sexton, he's feeling one of those ribs. He felt that one. Went deep into his soul. But now finally offload. And Henderson, he knocks the ball on. And now England have been able to take this one back only 5 metres out from their line. And yes, Drew in there. And also, hello, Hamish Bro says for sure, welcome into the lights, mate. Hope you're doing well. It's a knock on against Ian Henderson and his 1 minute FOG. We do not. I think we're getting it in like 2023 or 24 or something like that. Or was that a head knock? Don't know. I think he just got himself a bit rattled there, Johnny Sexton. And then on the way down, he probably had a big Jamie George land on him, which wouldn't have felt too comfy. But looking for the offload there, Tyburn, he got it up, but Ian Henderson just not quite able to grab it. That's Johnny's retirement. Cheers, champion. And there's Sebastian. But yeah, he took the knock like a champ. That's the thing. His rib cage, I don't know how many ribs he's got left, Johnny Sexton, but he just keeps on going. He was holding it big time. He was going, oh, that one took the wind out of me, but I'm just going to keep on playing for the next little while. They've got Joey Carberry on the bench that they can use as a late replacement in this one if they do desire. But for now, they are going to be sticking with the same guys so that they can have that late impact. And plus, when you've already had that injury of James Ryan, I know I think Tyburn took a knee to the head on the ground. And there's Katie Dixon. Okay, I'm just looking at him now. He's taking some deep breaths, Tyburn. Hopefully he's going to be all right. Him and Ian Henderson going arm in arm here. And at this scrum, and also we've got there, is George getting you anything from McDonald's? I don't think so. I think he's just going up there, getting breakfast, and then coming down for this one as well. I probably wouldn't have anything anyway for myself, to be honest, just because it will still be like, it's kind of a late morning / night for myself. And that one, and it's going to be the penalty there. Free kick to England, in fact, sorry. And also he's up. He must be okay on up. French refs, the best ever not as well. And this is Darren for that one. And too close, or scoreline is too close to call. Either side may win. And I'm going to like the JR Ewing of International Rugby. Don't get me wrong, but they're still a powerhouse side. I was Irish Rugby before this game. England, which position staying? Says Vishal. So they were third on the ladder. Ireland was sitting second on that ladder. We'll actually show you guys how the table was sitting currently in the Six Nations. We will go like this. And like that, there we go. So France are sitting at the top after their win up against Wales, also promoting themselves up a bit further with Scotland after their win over Italy, who still are yet to get themselves a point on the Six Nations table, unfortunately. But who knows, maybe next week up against Wales could be the week that they need, although I think that's at the Principality, so that's going to be even harder for the Italians. If Ireland win this game or England win this game, they still have a chance of catching France, but it is only a thin one, so that's why Ireland are the better off team. In terms of who will be able to catch France, since they've got the better points differential, will like their chances. Now going to the short side here. Good run forward from Alex Dombrandt. Now passing the ball back across. Marcus Smith, steps there. One of the first runs we've seen from him. I think he's had about two others, and they've really only been a couple meters. Taken nicely by Conway inside of his 22. Kicks it way down the field. Looking for the 50-22. He gets the favourable bounce. And I believe that is a 50-22 there for Ireland. It was actually Andrew Conway kicks it from inside of his own 22, gets it to curl around beautifully, and does the egg McMuffin actually contain any egg? Only like a very small majority of it. And I'll say, yes, it's powdered egg in that one. So yeah, I guess not classic egg as you know it, but it is like it's like instant potatoes, I guess you could say, and pancakes, bacon, egg McMuffin with hash brown as well. And there's Danny Lewis. He probably will get pretty much the whole breakfast menu. It's up to him, and it's reconstituted egg. And also, other than the English, who likes the English, says Darren Smith. That was a big hit there on Josh Van Fleur, a little bit slow getting up. That was a forward pass. And now England are still fired up. Every time they win a penalty or get a forward pass, they are well and truly in this contest. Hey, Randall, he's asking for the ball from Baniaki, who didn't want to give it up. He said, no, it's mine. Just for now, but now England have got themselves their scrum feed. 5 meters out from their line, though, it's still going to be tricky. I'll take an apple pie and a frappe is on there. Or frappe. Frappe? Is that like a frappuccino? I assume. Although there's also a picture of an apple. Do you want... Oh, no, that will be for the apple pie. Never mind. I was going to say, do you want one of those little bags of apples? And I'll also nicely dodge Darren's question. As I see Sebastian there. I mean, it's a good question. I don't mind watching England play. I feel like because I've watched a lot of the Gallagher Premiership, I've got a soft spot for England as well. And average row minus 122 Italian was to bad margins points. Yeah, then that's not what you want. You don't want 122 minus for yourself. If you got 122 minus, more than likely you are finishing bottom of the bunch every day of the week. And also you picked up to I feel like a grizzly bear picks up a salmon. That's actually very impressive when they do that, isn't it? And they just kind of go like, yep, that's mine. Did Ben Stokes get a wicket? No, he didn't. Overs remaining currently 47.5 in England. They still need to get themselves 10 wickets in their game up against the West Indies if they do want to win that test match in the West Indies, which would be a big one to have. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're going to be back next week. And also the Kiwi Lad Sport, we're going to have plenty more content coming up on that channel with Rugby League Rugby, Super Rugby Aupiki we actually did on that channel. And we'll be continuing that trend, and that will be on Tuesday, I believe, that the next match will be taking place. But we are also going to be covering all of these games on the Kiwi Lads main channel. Once I do find them, they've gone hiding. There it is. So these games, we are covering all of those next week with Wales versus Italy, Ireland versus Scotland, and England taking on France. That could be the decider of the Six Nations. And alongside that, if you do love yourself some Super Rugby, we have got you sorted. We're covering all of these games on the channel, all 6 of them. So we have got 9 games just that we have mentioned, plus Test match cricket, plus NRL, plus a few other matches that we are doing for sports around the world. It's another penalty there for England at scrum time. They have been absolutely dominant. And that one, I'll take the draw in Antigua as well. Says Sebastian, and also we've got the Kiwi Lads. Do you know what paper? Do you know what paper? Is it paper or is it something else? I assume in the Aussies still have Stockholm syndrome. Says Gareth for that one. And also the passion in this game, Amish, is at fever pitch, as says Darren. And yeah, the fact that it keeps on going back and forth, like England win a penalty in the breakdown, Ireland end up getting the turnover, England win a penalty, and it just keeps on going. And also we've got there the dominating the scrum with the winger. That is true. They've got Jack Noel in that scrum. Maybe he was a forward in a past life, although he is sponsored by Red Bull, so perhaps he had one at halftime, and now he's absolutely buzzing off the walls. But Jamie Georgie wants that ball. He does receive it. And also it's a snack in South Africa, so I have not heard of it. And also thanks for the game chat. We don't get it free in Canada, says Cam. See, that's rough. Like, I feel like they should show it around the world like more often for free, because I know like they've got highlights on the Six Nations YouTube channel if you don't want to check those out after the game. One moment, I might be able to help you out here. We'll just move that to the other screen, and we will go here. Now currently going for that rolling ball for England. And also, what position are you playing? Rugby scrum half. As I says, DJ, I used to be out on the wing, then I got a little bit slower. So if I was to play, I probably would end up playing halfback just because, or scrum half, just because it's, I guess, the best place for me. Just because I'm quite small, really. I'm not huge, but I'm not small at the same time. So I'm kind of halfway in between, but I'm probably small for a rugby player, I guess you could say. But I'm quickly going to find the Six Nations YouTube channel so you guys can check that out for those who want to watch the highlights of the game. We will go like that and like that. So yeah, if you do want to check out the highlights of this game, that is the channel to find them. And now it's going to be a good run forward from the English, but a counter ruck there. No, England win the penalty again. And they have done it one more time. Maybe they've got a couple more turnovers left in the gas tank. I believe they'll kick this one for the 3 and get them a little bit closer to being back into this game. But Joe Marchant, I think that time was there. And also Red Bull sponsoring a wing, kind of fitting as well. It is indeed. Red Bull gives you wings or makes you a wing. I guess we'll keep it. Let's be covering the price of petrol increases. That's the game everyone's watching at the moment. Says Warriors fan. Tell you what, it's gone up quite a lot in the last little while. Everyone will be, I guess, that's the thing. Maybe people start walking to work. Maybe, who knows? I just woke up on my birthday, says Noel Smith. So happy birthday, mate. I hope you are having a great day so far. Even though we are still 7 a.m., hopefully it's sunny for yourself. It's still dark here, but it looks like it's not going to be a terrible day over on Google. It's a South African snack and no lobsters in the ruck. Says Katie Dixon for that one. Now, Harry Randall. I said that very weird, but Harry Randall, he is going off the field, and that will be Ben Youngs now as his replacement. And this is a big moment here for Marcus Smith, the youngster. He's missed one kick so far. He has got the rest of them that he needed, though. Currently, it looks like the West Indies, they're looking to just bat out this game for the draw. No punching in the scrum, says Sebastian. Of course, we did have our interview with Norm Maxwell. He was actually instructed as an 18-year-old to punch in the scrum. That was actually his role. Anyone who hasn't checked that out, it is on the channel. And we did interview the ex-All Black and Crusaders player Norm Maxwell. That's gone over from Marcus Smith. And now the score is 12 points to England, 15 for Ireland. Yeah, I'm South African. I didn't even know that, says DJ there. And happy birthday. And they're from Katie Dixon. Can you imagine being at Twickenham, the home of rugby, for this game, says Darren? I mean, at this stage, it's getting pretty close, though. So, yes, we've only seen 2 tries, but it does still seem like there's going to be a late tail in the tape here between these two sides. But Dave Kilcoyne, making his way off the field, I think it was. One moment, we will go like this. Oh, sorry, he actually making his way out onto the field alongside Rob Herring. Now taken nicely by Mara Itoje. Still 27 minutes left in this game. I'm South African. And there it says Gareth for that one. But I have moved the coverage over to that screen, which is why I'm looking this way currently. But I am going to slowly move it back across. There we go. It's as if it was effortlessly that kind of transition. That's going to be possibly an injury there for Andrew Conway. Looks like he's in a little bit of trouble. And he doesn't look too flashy. Looks like he's trying to chase after that. Mara Toje lining up. Johnny Sexton hits him hard and drives him backwards in the tackle. Still available here for the Irish. They have not completely sealed that one off, says the referee. And would you say that Twickenham is the Mecca of rugby? Or if not, which stadium gets the honour in there? So I assume we're talking about McDonald's there. So I'd say, I mean, it's probably like Aviva, Twickenham, and Principalities. Probably McDonald's, KFC, and what's another big one that is around the world? Don't know. Down here, it's probably like pizza of some sort. Now driving forward up to 40 metres out. It's a penalty now to Ireland. And Sexton crunched again. He wasn't. Tottenham Hotspur Spur equalised 1-1 against Man United and Mecca. Bloody spelling as well, says Sebastian. See, I thought we were still talking McDonald's. Oh, okay, no LBW. Oh, it could be LBW. Could be LBW, depending on whether or not they gave it out or not. I'm just looking up at the LBW shout while Johnny Sexton kicked this one into touch. The original decision was not out, so he needs to have it completely overruled. Impact in line. Umpire's call, so the review will be retained and it's not out for the West Indies. But yeah, it is certainly a massive, I guess, historic stadium in rugby. Same with the Principality, same with Eden Park for down south. But Andrew Conway, his nose is a bit buggered now. Got a huge amount of Vaseline on the top. And that could be easily probably either a dislocate. Can you dislocate your nose or do you just break your nose? I think you just break your nose. So hopefully he is going to be all right, but it's certainly bleeding with the big cut on at the top of it. And now from about 25 metres out. So here's a link for it, Gareth. And they said Barragan, although I don't know whether or not it will come through, because I think for some reason YouTube doesn't really put links in unless they are from moderators. I think it is. It just went sideways because of your spelling, says Gareth. It's going to be called as a penalty to England for a bit of obstruction there. And I'll look at it also, Kiwi lads, and that way. So what is it called? It's called paper. Wicket for England. There by the looks of paper. Paper food. Paper food. Okay, no, it's saying, are you sure you don't mean paper food, as in like paper? South Africa, I guess I look at South Africa. Paper. It's just showing me pictures of eco-friendly bags, which I assume isn't it in Marina Whanau, because they say that Lords is the mecca of cricket and Wembley for football, as well, and is it a CP tea snack, as well, and also, dude, where is all your energy from? I need some, says Nazi Williams. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know where it comes from, but it just seems to stick around for a very long time. But now kicking the ball high from Marcus Smith, but Craig Braithwaite out in the cricket, so that's one wicket down that they did need for England, wrestling him down to the chalk. It's going to be the penalty. No, it's just going to be the turnover for the scrum now. And that is going to now be the scrum fee for England. They might be finding their way back into this match currently. Now, England, it seems like England are taking momentum in both ones. Unbelievable game atmosphere, electric, passion, unrivaled, says Darren Smith. Yeah, that's the thing. It started off looking like it was going to be pretty much a dead rubber match at the very start of this game when there was that red card so early. James Lowe scored the early try. I was like, okay, this game seems like it is going to be possibly just going the way of the Irish. But then after that, England just kept on fighting and fighting and fighting Ireland, disciplining them down. Exactly right. They've given away way too many penalties and also too many handling errors they have experienced throughout this game. Mara Toje, he's fired up for this game. England know they can win this. Just whether or not they can do it. And England, Amish will win given current forms. I'd say England have got the momentum, even though they're playing with 14 men. For me, they've got the momentum in this game because the last about 10 penalties have almost gone their way and handling errors as well. They just keep marching their way up the field. And Twickenham is rocking well and truly behind the English for this one. It goes down at the knee on this near side. I believe that would have been the tight ear prop for that one. Tyke Furlong and try our Papa Snack. Looks like a chip. Weird, never seen it. As I said, Gareth there, and yes, looks like only a CPT. Them, I thought it was a South Africa thing, but it's only Cape Town. But what I can tell you is it's very nice. And then also pepper bites were originally the broken crust of samosas, and they made it into a snack. He's Muslim in origin, says Timothy there. And Papa Bites Google, says Barry Green. And also we've got the Yes Island, says Ricky Phillip for this game. But currently sitting 21 minutes left. And it's going to be another scrum reset. So both sides look like they just haven't been able to find their feet. And it actually happened to the Bulls versus Munster game. At one point, the referee pretty much had to say, boys, what are you doing? Your feet shouldn't be doing this. And he pretty much went as blunt as that because they just went at weird angles and ended up just not quite getting it overall right for themselves. But now another scrum feed here. And also, like we get Mukru on every counter here, says Gareth. But now scrum feed for the English. They're slowly building their way back into this contest. They were about 15-0 down or 15-3 down, and they continue to get closer and closer and closer. That's a good push from Ireland, I believe. No, it's given away. The penalty. They've taken the quick tap, but they weren't from the mark. The knee went down. They'll have a kick it go, and they'll get it back to 15-15. 6 scrum penalties against Ireland. That has been somewhere where they have been disastrous for this game. And Jamie George, he's got the smile on his face. He can hear the Twickenham crowd getting behind them. Ireland just can't quite believe the momentum here. Oh, right. So the referee has just said it's a loose head's fault. And if he doesn't sort this out, there's more of a chance that someone will be going to the bin in the front row. And the broken pieces of samosa is the best pipper, as not the fabricated commercial stuff they come after it, as says Miminia. And also we have got there what happened in the Bulls versus Munster game. It was a thriller going right down to the wire. Do you want to know the exact score? Because if you do, I can tell you. I just don't want to spoil it. Right, ladies and gentlemen, in 5 seconds, I am going to end up telling you guys what the score on the Bulls versus Munster game was in 5, 4. So pretty much mute if you don't want to hear it. 3, 2, that's 2, that's 1, 0. The Bulls won 29-24. I do apologize for anyone who didn't mute for that moment. They did end up sneaking themselves the win. And then also because it has to be fried and some samosa oil. And I'm watching this game and listening to your commentary, Hamish. Keep going, keep building the atmosphere because it's amazing, says Darren Smith. But now 22 metres out, Marcus Smith will be lining up this kick straight at in front. Currently 20 minutes left in this game. And if he gets it over, it will make the scores just that little bit closer, straight down the middle. And now it is going to be 15-15. And Menezes nailed them. Or, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the game, there was quite a fight back. They did let the Bulls, let Munster get the bonus point for that game. And Bulls deserve the win, says Emma Choi. Marcus Smith, we get a yellow card for that here, says Gareth. I better not show mine sideways or else I will get myself possibly a yellow as well. Go Bulls, thanks, says Suckabulla there. But now from the halfway line, Johnny Sexton will be kicking this one off. And Ireland just need to take momentum back in this fixture. Everything has gone England's way in the past about 40 or 50 minutes. It's on their side once again now. I know Andrew Conway is going to be all right. He's bleeding from the nose. He's also got probably a bit of a sore arm now. But Ben Youngs puts up the box kick. It's gone extremely high. Jack Noel chasing after it, taken nicely there by Hugo Keenan, pushed into touch. The ball pops out. And Jack Noel decides against taking the quick line-out throw. England have the crowd on the tip of their finger at the moment, and everyone in attendance knows that this match is going to be a thriller for the last 20 minutes or so. But Mara Itoje getting under that high ball, taking it nicely. And from there, Hugo Keenan, he takes the ball, but then Jack Noel and Alex Stonbrand, you're not getting around those two when they wrestle you towards the touchline. That is for sure. Now the rolling maul for England here once again. Now, I wonder what will happen now that they're 15 all, because of the fact that it is going to be that situation of England. They've been playing well when it's come to the catch-up game. But the question is, will they be able to take the lead in this match? Jack Noel now will be chasing after that high kick, taken nicely by Andrew Conway, getting it right that time. And Ireland protecting the ball very nicely. Johnny Sexton going back across Hugo Keenan. Now Gary Ringrose ball on the outside out to James Lowe. Kicks it on the left boot and does get a little bit of distance on that. And now it is going, that's an awkward low tackle there for that one, taken nicely. And now Andrew Conway kicks it back in return. He's looking for the 50-22. He gets it as well, and it's a great kick. That is his second 50-22 for Andrew Conway. He is just on absolute fire currently. Second wicket for England in the cricket as well, and they are starting to make a bit of a change there. And I was always trust Marcus's boot. Come on, you Quins. They're coming England. And they're and also Ireland giving away too many penalties. Score even 2 tries to Ireland. Everyone said, how's it, Hamish? Can you please send a message? Although I know that YouTube are very strict in terms of if you don't have your category set, pretty much mentioning that you are going to be talking about it, they do hand out quite a few community guideline strikes. So I don't think I can say too much, unfortunately, there without getting myself into quite a bit of trouble. I think Come on England says nobody. It's about R4, R6, and at Cape Town, South Africa. Says Barry Green for that one, but now it is going to be passed back across. Ian Henderson driving 4 or 5 meters out here for the Irish. I almost called them licorice there accidentally because I'm thinking of food, but now Jameson Gisborne Park offloads it back to big. Tyke Furlong getting held up there and is wrestled down by, I believe it was Ben Young's, Maro Itoje and Courtney Laws. Rush defence there from England, getting lucky, being able to make the tackle quickly recycled, and it's going to be now an attacking run. Gets very close to the line, still available, a metre short. Tyke Furlong, he's clapping for the ball, he wants it. Does he get it? No, they go to the short side. Johnny Sexton, interception pass thrown, but they're going back for the advantage. Ooh. That was close. If it's a draw, France is the boss, says Timothy. Indeed, they would be. That was close. But they did have the advantage there, Ireland, so they got bloody lucky, I guess is the best way of putting it. And well, I don't think there's nobody. Tyke Furlong, he'll be pissed. He was clapping for it. He was going, boys, I'm right here. I'm ready to run. And then instead, they decided to try and go for the skip pass. Freddie Stewart was all over it. If he missed this interception, it would have been a certain try, but he read it perfectly, got his hands on the ball, and then it does go back for the initial penalty now. But Johnny Sexton tried to get that flat pass right out to James Lowe, and also French referee says that Darren Smith for that one. But now, okay, now they are saying maybe Maro Itoje has done some dirty tactics on the ground of holding the scrum half in the ruck. So now they're going upstairs to check it. I would have thought if they already had the penalty, you'd just go with that one. An Irish win in Twickenham would be a great celebration, says he mate Shoy. 4 of the last 5 times it has been England who have won it, but in 2018, Ireland were able to pull off that upset, and Crazy NZ has got the nervous face there as well. Currently, England versus West Indies, 2 wickets down for the West Indies, and they've got 2 men at the crease now who haven't really faced too many deliveries. There's still 44.1 overs remaining in that match as well. So we will probably be watching that after this live stream alongside Leicester versus Ulster, although we won't be doing the commentary side as well. Right. Okay, I see Maro Itoje has grabbed the hand of Jameson Gisborne Park. He was holding on to him for quite some time. It wasn't a huge amount of time, though, but he was just getting enough of a hand on him to stop him from being able okay, like they're saying, it happens in so many breakdowns. That angle didn't look too great for Itoje, but it is just going to be the penalty, the initial penalty that they did have anyway, so it will be the penalty to Ireland. This will be an easy 3-pointer, I would think, and they are taking on the post here. And also, hey, howdy, hey, brother, hope you're well, says Katie Dixon. Now for Ireland, they really do need 2 more tries. England aren't happy, or the supporters aren't happy. I don't know why they're not happy. That penalty, I believe, was for something else. And they did say that it wasn't going to be a yellow card, but they still aren't happy at the moment because the penalty going the way of the Irish. I believe it was actually for rushing up and getting offside there against the English. Also, maybe Maro Itoje has something to do with that penalty as well. But Johnny Sexton, 15 minutes left. Mano is serial offender. No wonder Evan is on his case, says Mania for that one. Now lining it up, the experienced veteran and Sexton. How many times has he put that ball on the tee during a match for a match-winning moment? Can he have another one here? Still 15 minutes, so there's plenty of time for either side to be able to score a couple of tries, perhaps. And hello, Crazy. Hope you're well, mate, says Sebastian. But currently, it's been quite a stalemate between these 2 sides. Now line it up. Johnny Sexton strikes it, and Johnny Sexton gets it straight down the middle. Now the score, 18 points to Ireland and 15 to England. And hey, Katie, hope you're well too. And hello, Crazy. Hope you're well. She's Sebastian there, but now from the halfway line, it will be kicked off. Bundy Arkey getting taken off the field. I believe that will be, yes, it is Robbie Henshaw, who now is the replacement for him. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It is hugely appreciated you guys all being here. Also, If you do want to help us out, be sure to check out the Kiwi Lad Sport channel. We're going to have plenty more rugby league, cricket, all sorts on that channel alongside this one. So be sure to hit the subscribe button on it as well. That is the link, and also it is the pinned comment. And just living the dream, brother. And there says Kato Dixon. Now the ball has been kicked high by Jameson. Gibson Park chasing after it. Andrew Conway tries to line up, taken nicely by Marcus Smith this time now. Oh, I think he actually pushed that onto the Irish player. And they're saying it hit the foot, but it's whether or not it was a knock on. Okay, the subs are going to be made here for this time. It is England who are making a couple subs. And it is going to be now Joe Launchbury and Joe Marler, the two Joes, making their way onto the field. It's actually, was that Alex Dombrandt going off? They have. They've got rid of Alex Dombrandt. He only made his way out onto the field about 20 minutes into the game. So they've decided Sam Simmons gets a full minutes. A great game, says Cyril down. Just woke up catching up with this match. Didn't know England had a red card. And yeah, they did end up with one extremely early on. Lucky there from Mark Franks. And oh, yes, they have actually rotated it back, and it is going the side of England now for the line out. It did come off the Irish player's foot. And also just, oh no, we had that run. And also biggest last 15 minutes in the Six Nations so far, says. So he pretty much threw it back in. It hit the foot of Andrew Conway, and because of it, it is going to be the line out throw for the English. We have got Alex Noah, as I said, strange how the English never gets penalised correctly at Twickenham. What the hell are the rest scared of the crowd, as says Yuri, for that match? And they're certainly intimidating, that is for sure. 80,000 people just going for you if you do get the wrong decision. But now Ben Young's at the back of this rolling maul. Passing it back across for England. Marcus Smith now looking for the little grub behind. It's going to be sitting up nicely, though, for Ireland. And they had a couple men back now kicking it to the return. It's going out on the full. And now England just outside of the 22 of Ireland have got a perfect opportunity. And also, this is electric Hamish. Come on, England, says Darren Smith. It certainly has 13 minutes left. This is pretty much deciding who can still contend for the Six Nations Championship. And if it's England who win this game, that game up against France will be pretty much whoever wins that could win the Six Nations. It'll be a very exciting finish indeed. Jameson Gibson Park, he's going off the field, and now the experienced man, Conor Murray, and also Will Mays said, if England, and that one, so he is obviously, I assume you're going for Ireland in this one, more than likely, and also up the and they're to come on Ireland, we win, would leave Twickenham flabbergasted. Says there, mate, Shane. Yeah, like I mentioned, last 5 times at Twickenham, it was 2018 the last time that Ireland have been able to get themselves to win, and that is the only time out of the last 5 times that they have played Gillian. That's going to be stolen there by Ireland inside of the 22. Now it is their number 16, and Rob Herring going for the Scottish. I done you all. That matters to me, Bonnie Scotland. And there says David Darcy. And that's the thing, Ireland, if they win this game, they do need to beat Scotland, but Scotland are one of those sides that just cause upsets every day of the week. And Wilmer doesn't mess around, does he? No, not really. He does straight into it. Doesn't feel too strongly about the English. Joe Marler, first carry for that man, 40 metres out here for England. Kicking up for the box kick. Ben Young's the worst possible result here is actually a draw for these two sides. Conor Murray takes the mark. I believe he will be kicking this one down towards the touchline. But yeah, pretty much a draw would actually take both sides out of the running, and France will win the Six Nations straight away from this point. And also come on, Ireland, let's get this win. And there says Thomas, although there is a chance if Ireland beats Scotland with a bonus point and France don't get the bonus point for losing up against England, then they can still slightly sneak ahead there. Well taken by Hugo Keenan. Oh, they know how important this is. Now driving the legs. Jamie George able to drag him down now 40 metres out from the English line here for the Irish, and the Scottish are unpredictable, that is for sure. And they are a very tough side to try and get through. Robbie Henshaw passes it off to Byrne. Now big carry forward. It's going to be the number 17 for this match, Dave Kilcullen. Now inside ball from Byrne. Caelan Doris, the flying number 8, links up. No, it's dropped by Ireland. He's put it down. Don't know who that was, but it was a must-score opportunity for them. And now the ball has been kicked way down. Come on, Ireland, let's get this win. That could have been the moment they were after. Now going for the 50-22. Trying to kick it in behind. It's taken by Marcus Smith inside of his 22 now. And he is going for the kickback. And now being chased hard by, I believe that's Max Malins, a man who's been extremely silent throughout this game. Missed the tackle on James Lowe. Now kicks it downfield. Going to be bouncing back into the hands of Smith. Counter-attack here for England now. Freddie Stewart gets it. Looking for the 50-22. Both sides just playing a game of force back. It goes straight down the throat of Andrew Conway. Does kick it now, looking for his own 50-22. Does keep on rolling. It's going to go just inside of the in-goal area. And he just has to put it down. Watching Man United versus Spurs. I believe the last time I heard about that game, it was 1-1, wasn't it? So I'm not too sure what it is sitting at. We love an Irish win at Twickenham and also Ireland in there. What a game, says Darren. Well, that's fun. And like I mentioned, with how it started, you wouldn't have expected it to be as close as it is. But England, it's as if that lit a fire underneath them. And also, do you think Eddie's job is safe if England lose today? I mean, I wouldn't want to be the one who tells Eddie Jones that he is fired, because I feel like you're probably getting a left and a right combo with the fists of Eddie Jones, more than likely. And damn, how did he drop that? It's on 2-1 United currently, says Thomas, for that matchup. So yeah, relatively close for that one as well. But now taken nicely by Robbie Henshaw, tries to step around Elliot Daly, and he does just that. Now it was Jack Knoll making the tackle. Ireland would love themselves another penalty here, but even more, they'd love a try. And it's a good backline movement for them. Cutting back on the inside, it was Gary Ringrose. Player unable to roll away, so the referee does say that it is for now. Just play on. The tackle on it was once again Robbie Henshaw. He's been busy throughout the early stages. Pass back now, Sexton, just a pop pass after the man standing right next to him. Quick recycle ball there. Connor Murray gets it out wide nicely. Jack Conan offload to James Lowe now. Down the wing, tries to step, just keeps in the field of play somehow at the leg strength to stop himself from going into touch. Off the tackle of Freddie Stewart. Now Rob Herring continues to drive his way forward. Connor Murray goes back to Sexton. Carry from Henderson. He hasn't had the best game so far, but he has done his job there to just make sure that he does have a successful carry. Short ball to Josh Brandon Fleury has crashed into Mara Tojo, almost turning over the ball. The ball's available. Tyke Furlong now plays halfback. Passes it off to Sexton. Robbie Henshaw playing a bit of crash ball, almost tackled into the rolling maul situation, but does get the knee to the ground, and Ronaldo on fire. And that one is there from Exan. But now backline movement, passes it wide out to James Lowe. Pressure on him. Uses a quick step, though. It does just keep in the field of play, up to 11 phases now for the Irish. Max Malins just gets out of it. Now Van den Fleur, this is using up more time. So the more time this uses up, that almost became a maul. But it's still going to be Ireland 13 phases in almost here. And they continue to build. It's a wide cutout pass now. Quick hands. And the Irish, they're going for the corner. Andrew Conway steps back on the inside. Wrestled down just a metre short. And now back across field. It's the try for Ireland. And it's Jack Conan who scores it. And that might be the moment that the Irish needed to get themselves the win. And also, the French are watching this contest closely. They are indeed. And now Ireland have got something else to prove here, because if they get one more try, they get themselves the bonus point, which gives them a bit more of a chance of catching the French. Jack Conan scores it in the 72nd. What a moment in this game. So if it gets to 80 minutes, you'd think rather than Ireland just kicking the ball out, if they have got a little bit more of a lead, they might as well go for one more game over. That's midnight. Well, that's good night, Vienna. And Ollie in there from Mimir. And also Ireland needs a try and a conversion to seal this game. Some fantastic charisma, and that's exactly what they have been able to do. This is why we love rugby. And they're on the Irish flag from and sealed the game, says DJ there. Currently now is the try to the Irish. And Jack Conan, he saw the gap. Joe Marler went low. He got him around the bootlaces, but was not enough to stop big Jack Conan, the Leinster and also British and Irish Lions International. And now I'm drinking real whiskey. Well done, Ireland. There 8 minutes left. We'll go to the wire. But as I said, I shouted like crazy now. I just like the English, says Yuri, for that one there. And England Warrior, says Mark. So who knows, maybe there's a late comeback here for them. We did see in the game, I'm going to refer to it, Super Rugby, Reds versus Fijian draw. We saw 3 tries scored by the Fijian draw in 5 minutes. There's still 7 minutes left of this game, so anything can happen. And this one, smash the like button, much appreciated. Says Gary Dixon, if you haven't already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're going to be back with all 3 games of the Six Nations next week, and they could be the deciders. And also well done to the French referee, says Darren Smith. And yes, good stuff, says Timothy. And come on, Ireland, to win United, to win my weekend. It's going to be rocking. Love your show. Keep up the good work, says Thomas. Appreciate it, mate. Now, going to be kicked over by Johnny Sexton. And also 6.5 minutes left. 10 points, Ireland are winning by. As I says this one, exactly right. But I just remember that game earlier on in the day. Reds versus Fijian draw. The Fijian draw just hit a whole new gear in the later stages. I smashed it as well. There says Mimania. And I can't believe the Springboks lost to this weak English team, says Ryan there. That match, although they did have 15 players for that match and man up for 70 minutes, it's a little embarrassing for the Irish, says Daniel there. Yeah, I know that they would have wanted it to be a lot more one-sided than it has been. That one now has gone forward. Did it know it is going to be play on? The referee almost blew the whistle, but instead decided that it is going to be continuing. Now they are going forward, possibly looking for one more try here. Caelan Doris got to attack and run. If they get one more bonus point, or if they get one more try, they get the bonus point for this one. Running it straight sideways. Gary Ringrose continues to build on. We'll read the chat in a very short moment. Thank you all very much for tuning in. We are going to be back next week. Like I mentioned, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Ireland now stuck on the halfway line. Robbie Henschel having to run it sideways. And it's a penalty to Ireland. That will help them keep growing, Daniel. As Dan called it, England played well up around Stan says B. Schmitty, and also in California, watching you chatting with a friend who was in Ireland. She says the crowd's been rather rude, booing and such. No draw to go Ireland as well, says Tracy. So, yeah, they have been pretty ruthless so far throughout the early stages of the game. Definitely after that red card. And England as well, says Harry and Hay in the chat. Welcome into the live stream. I hope you are doing well. And also the game has had everything, says Kanako in. And currently, as this stands, 18 points for France, 15 for Ireland if they win this game. If they get one more try, they get a bonus point and they push themselves up to 16, only 2 behind France, which will mean even if France get themselves a loss with a bonus point, they will still be able to overtake them if Ireland do beat Scotland. And Jack, I'm in Canada and my dad's a Paddy as well, says Daniel there for that one, but now driving their way forward here. And we need a bonus point so badly. They do indeed. Please, Ireland. Oh, thanks as well, says Gillian. Rolling more, opening up here. And they get closer and closer. Driver Ireland again, says the Swan. They are getting very close. Conor Murray, short side. James Lowe drops the head. Meter short now. Who wants to put the final seal on it? It is down. And Ireland, I believe that is going to be the try. The referee's going to go upstairs, though. Or is he? No, it is Finley, Bilham, who has been able to score it. And Ireland look like they want to be the side that do score 3 in a row. Finley Bilham gets the point. How do you spell Finley? There we go. Finley Bilham does score it in the 74th minute now, and Ireland are really ramping it up for the final few moments of this game. And also bonus, says DJ, and that is exactly what the Irish needed, scoring 2 tries within pretty much 2 minutes of each other. It's embarrassing for England to win for World Cup finalists, then play badly against the Irish. And also we've got Stephen go back to bed, says Balagi there. And also we have got come on France next round, says Daffy Ducks for that one. And now, you know what, this is going to be an exciting finish to not just this game, but also to the Six Nations. Next week, I will show you guys exactly who are playing who. But as this game sits, there is not enough time for England to be able to get back into this contest. They might, 3 minutes left, they may be able to get themselves a bonus point, but more than likely they will be missing out on Eddie Jones. He does not look too happy, as you wouldn't think he would be at this point in time. But this is the table before the match. So France, they are sitting on 18. Ireland, with this bonus point win, move up to 16. And everything is on the line for that last round. And the 2 big fixtures that we are going to be covering, both are on the channel. That's Super Rugby. That's the wrong one. But these 2 here, Ireland versus Scotland. If Ireland win that with a bonus point and France lose to England, then Ireland will win the Six Nations. If Ireland win that game up against Scotland, and they don't get the bonus point, but France get the bonus point, Ireland will still win the Six Nations because of that extra point that they did reward themselves there. But if France win that game up against England, they win the Six Nations competition. But Ireland, they still have to beat Scotland, which is not going to be an easy one. The French love Ireland. Ireland are there. And how's the English crowd, mate? They are noisy at the moment, although they are not too happy with the way that this one is going. And Ireland together, and also drew as a team to watch after 2 seasons. Exactly right. They look strong throughout the early stages, but currently now England, they are going to have to try and get this ball back relatively soon. The bonus point in favour of the Irish, 32 points to 15 currently, and only 2 minutes left to put in the box kick up for Conor Murray, letting it sit in the air. Freddie Stewart taking it nicely. He hasn't really been too prominent throughout this game, I've noticed, but now big run forward. I believe that was big Sam Simmons. Does have a good carry around the side now for Mara Itoje. England just trying to get themselves some sort of points sealed on the board here. But with that kick going over, they would actually need 2 converted tries to get them within the 7, or actually, sorry, just the 2 tries in general. So that is going to be needing to happen in the next minute and a half. It's actually stolen in the breakdown by, I believe it was Caelan Doris, and it's a penalty now to England. Have Ireland got bonuses yet? They do indeed. And Osama Ginger, but no less a ninja as well, says Chris there. And also can't wait to hear that Eddie will say, or what Eddie will say after the game. Says fantastic charisma. It's all right. The Oars incident messed up everything Says Sebastian, and this will be a record win for Ireland at Twickenham if it stays like this, says Kanako in. And yeah, the last time that they were able to get themselves the win, it was 2018. I'll be a ginger, not a winger, in there as well. Or wait, a ginger, not a whinger, I assume that would be. And fair do, Seb, this game was nuts and great commentary, Hamish, well done. And we have still got another 40 seconds left now, but Jameson Gibson Park gets the Six Nations player of the match. He's played well throughout this game. And now England 5 meters out. They do just want one more try on the board. They've got a total of 25 seconds to try and do so. But currently, it does look like it might be a little too late. Johnny Sexton, he's had a good game. Got to play the full 80 as well. They didn't even go to Carberry. They left him on the bench. They said, no, thank you. That's not straight for England. And the first throw from Jamie Blamire, who does unfortunately get it a little bit wrong. Also, Marcus Smith getting taken off the field for George Ford for this final play of the day, but it was not straight. So now it is going to be the scrumping, and also Beers, not actually a ginger, just a supporter. There says Chris for that one, and also imagine Ireland score again. It would be huge for them, but I don't believe they will. Oh, Joey Carberry, he gets one kick. Oh, this one by the looks of it, if he's lucky. Bandiaki gives a big celebration to Johnny Sexton. Tell you what, that one felt too nice on his rib, the way that he did. He ended up getting squeezed. And Eddie, mate, what can I say as well? And there's so many England lovers in the chat room. And also Tia Murray Gibson Park in there as well, says Crazy and Zed. Currently now, England, they will be trying to steal this one. And sorry, G. And that one says Balagi there for that one. Now, Ireland feeding in the scrum feed here. And we are up to 80 minutes currently if they win this one, although they have given away about 7 scrum penalties, I believe. But that one has gone out the back. Conor Murray kicks it into touch, and the Irish win this game with a bonus point victory, 32 points to 15. And because of that, now they move up to 16 points on the board. And also, we've got that to relax about on Ireland. And there says Darren Smith, what a massive win for them. Coming back in the last few moments. Jack Conlon, Finlay Bealham. I said both of those names terribly. I'll try that again. Jack Conlon, Finlay Bealham. That's better. They both scored within 2 minutes of each other, and they were the bonus points that they were after. And Rugby NZ will invite you to their panel of official commentators. Says he made sure the Irish were a nice Irish team. Was fantastic playing. Thank you for the stream, Kiwi lads. And they're from Katie, and also amazing stream. Irish, one of the best in recent times. Big love, people. Says Sebastian for that one as well. And yeah, it was a hectic game of rugby, that is for sure. And I do appreciate every single one of you for being here. So if you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, because we are going to be definitely coming back for next week. And it is going to be 3 games of the Six Nations back to back to back. And it is going to be very exciting indeed. But that is the link to the Kiwi Lads Sport. No, it's not. It's a link to the Six Nations YouTube channel. We will go with that then for that one. But that is how you will be able to watch the highlights of this game, ladies and gentlemen. And then also the pinned comment. It's the Kiwi Lads Sport if you also want to check that out. Thanks, Hamish, bro. Nice company with you. And never in doubt, says Daniel, for that one. And somebody here predicted 32-15 earlier, says MH Choice. So very close, or in fact, perfect for that one. And Chris says, thanks, dude. No worries at all, mate. And like I mentioned, 3 games next week that will shape the Six Nations. I love it when it comes down to the final round. And it is going to come down, first of all, to that match between Ireland and Scotland. If Ireland win it, they put the pressure back on France, because France will be a little bit behind them on the Six Nations table. And then if France win that game up against England, they win the Six Nations, they get themselves the Grand Slam. But if they do not, then Ireland will be able to get themselves a win. And the only game that they lost was up against the French. But then also next week, we have got all the Super Rugby fixtures. So if you guys are new and you do enjoy your Super Rugby, be sure to tune in for that. And also thanks for the coverage. No worries at all, mate. And also thanks from Edwards Timothy, and thanks from William as well. Like and subscribe, done, says Chris. Appreciate it a lot. And yeah, we have got plenty more rugby games coming up in the future. Also, a little bit of cricket we will be covering on the channel tomorrow, I believe it is. Pakistan versus Australia, alongside Waratahs versus Western Force. That will be a 4 p.m. game here in New Zealand. So that's probably a middle of the night game for you guys who are in the Northern Hemisphere. So it is understandable if you are not here for that one, of course. And Daniel Tomlinson has got the thumbs up for that one. And bye-bye, Hamish, bro. Our Island one game over. And thanks, Hamish. Says William there for that one as well. But geez, tell you what, we've had about 4 insanely good games of rugby in terms of closeness. That is going down to the last 10 minutes of the game. We saw it for Fiji and Drua versus the Reds. We saw it for Chiefs versus Crusaders. We saw it for the Bulls taking on Munster. We saw it in this game to a degree for the situations that it was great as always. Thanks for the coverage. Please go on, have some. And in there, and also stay safe and joyful, everyone, and see you soon in the next match. Says Vishal. I wish I had a little bit more kind of voice left in the tank, because we could have done Ireland or the Irish Derby between Ulster and Leinster that is kicking off in about 2 hours' time or somewhere around there. Or in fact, I think it's going to be a little bit further away, or actually a little bit closer, sorry. Well, that one as well. One moment. We will see when that game is taking place. I probably will end up watching it from my bed, but it is going to be at 8:30 or so that game will be kicking off, Ulster versus Leinster, as an exciting fixture as well. Thanks, everyone. Thanks so much, Kiwi lads. I'm so glad Ireland won, says Gillian, or Gillen there. And thank you for all you do for us, says KT Dixon there. No worries at all. And Ulster says too for that game. So it's going to be a good one. And it should be a very exciting contest. And bonus point in Twickenham, it is indeed. Is there a way of Ireland winning the tournament if France win without a bonus point? There is. No, there is not. Unfortunately, they do need to make sure that France lose their next game. And great stuff, Ireland. England were heroic. They just needed to end with a win against France, says Brian. And yeah, they'll be fired up after that one, that is for sure. And it will give them a perfect opportunity to head into France, go into very tough territory as well. And stay safe and joyful, everyone. And yay, Ireland bonus points, says Tracy for that one. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, be sure to check out the Kiwi Lads sport channel, I should say. And also we have got there the Irish commentary are saying Ireland were awful. They're not happy with the Irish team. They did have a lot of handling errors and a lot of penalties against them, but I guess they've managed to win and they got the bonus point. That is the main thing for them at this stage. They'll look at this game, they'll go, right, a lot went wrong, but we also did some things right. And if we do that up against Scotland, maybe we will be able to get ourselves into first place on the Six Nations. And for God, and Ulster as well, says Stu there. That one. But yeah, they will have a lot to look at for this game in terms of the penalties against them. And also we weren't at Great Mountains, to be honest, says Brian. But the big thing is those points are on the board and there's actually another wicket there for England. So they are going towards maybe trying to get themselves a win in that test match and see us Kiwi lads as on there, says Barry. So we will see you all later on. But thank you all very much for tuning in and I will see you all for the next one.